All right, everybody, thanks for joining us once again on the Frankie and Ding Dong Show Facebook page and YouTube channel. As you can see right now with the overview from the Mez at Bayside Bowl. Action a little quiet. They're just finishing oiling on the old side. And once oiling is completed for this 11:30 a.m. squad, they will get practice underway ASAP.
There are, right in the ball raffle here, there are still 2 or 3 open spaces if anybody else is looking to re-enter over the ball raffle here. All right, here's which, is this a choice of ball? Choice of ball over there. Oh, dropped it. All right, here's your winning ticket number, everybody. 443902.
Not me again. Never is me. Always donate. All right, looks like it's going to be pretty close to full on this squad.
Oh, but looks like we have the winner. It's like Mike Fecto.
Most pairs are going to have 5. A couple pairs will have 6. So once we get
He's a lefty, he should.
everything going here and underway with practice, we'll give you some rundowns on who's on what pairs. Don't forget, every pair in play, as we here in the main feed focus on the west side, the new side here at Bayside Bowl.
All right, congratulations, Mike, on winning the ball. We will draw the other ball at the end of this qualifying session before the 2:30 squad starts.
And you can watch all the pairs in play. Go to the Frankie and Ding Dong Show's YouTube channel, and you'll see all 6 feeds up there.
Just going to make the announcements for you real quick.
And we'll show you how to do that after the announcements
Providing the balls for the raffle today. We really appreciate them with everything they do.
are made by Frankie Abralon.
Drilling of all the balls that are won today. Thank you very much to Jimmy Clark, shop owner, bowler builders here at Bayside Bowl and our second location at Just in Time Recreation. So the format for this is 4 games of qualifying. The top 4 from this squad are guaranteed spots into the match play tomorrow, and then everything else goes into the pool for the at-large. You are going to move 2 pairs to the right every game. Basically, just skip a pair. So if you're on 1 and 2, you'll go to 5 and 6. Do not count 19 and 20 or 9 and 10 in your cross because those are just breakdown lanes. So like if you're on 7 and 8, you will go to 13 and 14. Basically, you just move 2 pairs to the right every game. That way, everyone gets 2 games on each side of the building. We did have Bowling Voodoo come in and do lane leveling this past couple of weeks. So a pretty cool thing that they did here for Bayside Bowl and make it a better experience for everyone. We've still got some really cool behind-the-scenes stuff later on. Want to thank Phil Rilo and his 10 on the Deck Productions. You see all the cameras around. He's working in conjunction with the Frankie and Ding Dong Show to bring you live coverage of every pair today and the match play tomorrow.
That takes you. All right, so we got the announcements from Frankie Abralon. We've got King Ding Dong. We're going to have him throw a headset on as we get practice started here. Now let's remind you guys, as we mentioned, that we're going to have all the streams over on the Frankie and Ding Dong Show YouTube page. So here you go right here. Got it up on the screen for you. Let's take a look. Let's say we want to see what's going on. Let's go lanes 13 to 16. So I'll pick that one out there. And holy cow, look at that. They're going to be they're underway on practice in just a second over there. So yeah, so you've got all the pairs in play. Keep this, if you're watching us on Facebook, obviously keep that tab open because that's the only way you're going to be able to hear Frankie, Ding Dong, and myself because we're on the main feed. And we'll take it with just the ambient audio you're going to get over on that other feed on YouTube for any of the pairs. So,
well, yeah. So,
here we go. Let's get another voice in the booth for the first time.
Yeah, well,
King
Ding Dong here. First thing I got to say is thank you so much, $2 Phil, for being here.
Absolutely,
man,
brother.
This has been great. You have an amazing setup for the Hungus 8K, the second annual Hungus 8K. You guys can go to our YouTube feed and check out whatever lane that you guys want to, or you can listen to us here in the booth. Right now it is $2 Phil, the man himself, and myself, and we'll get Frankie up here. He's doing some tournament work, as you guys can imagine, checking in the squads, doing the tournament announcements. He's going to be helping with the scoring and everything as well, and we're going to bring you all of the coverage. Obviously, they're just starting in practice right now. They get 4 balls per lane worth of practice, Phil, and normally
Even the old guys? The old guys, okay.
Yeah, normally we only get 3 balls per lane in our normal tournaments, but I guess Hungus is feeling a little generous today.
Or old, one of the two.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's re-entered the squad.
I saw his name on the, I just got, Mrs. Brady sent me the rosters, and he's back on there.
Yeah, he's going to be on 13 to start, so, and those of you guys that are just tuning in, what they're going to do is they're going to bowl one game, and they're going to skip a pair to the right and bowl on the second pair. So that way they each get 2 games on here on the new side, the west side of Bayside Bowl, and 2 games on the old side, east side of Bayside Bowl. As you guys may have heard, Frankie was talking about bowling voodoo coming in within the last week, couple weeks, and leveling all the playing surface, making it a fair playing field all the way across the lanes. Bowling voodoo, really cool guys, very knowledgeable, and with them coming in and leveling the lanes and giving us all of their insight, the shot here is going to get better and better. Right now, we're burning through some product, and we got some new product on the way that's going to make the shot even better here at Bayside Bowl. Obviously we bowl on sport shots all the time here at Bayside, but consistency, especially when you bowl on a sport shot, you notice it more and more because there's not that miss room like you have on a house shot. So with the sport shot, you'll notice lane to lane if they're more level for the playing field all the way across, then you'll notice that it'll be more consistent from lane to lane.
Now, I got to ask you, how hard was it to dump the memory banks knowing how different pairs were all the years Bayside's been here, and all of a sudden like, oh shit, this is a fresh start? Was it a little tough to go, all of a sudden, hey, if I move from this pair to this pair, I usually got to move 3 and 2 left. Oh, crap. Do I do that now? Does that not matter? I mean, that had to be a little tough to dump the memory banks this morning.
Yeah, actually, that's absolutely correct, Phil. And we bowled on a couple of notorious pairs for that, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
We started on 11 and 12. 11 got a new front panel this year. Had some D-Lam in the old panel. 11 and 12 played very similar, honestly. We went to 15 and 16, and 15... normally 15 has a hang spot for the lefties especially, and 16 has a pretty good look. To be perfectly honest with you, Phil, I think the lefties still had a little bit of a hard time on 15, and I saw more hook on 15 than I did 16. I don't know if that's just, this transition with the group in front of us or whatnot, but that's what I saw.
Yeah. It just makes you wonder sometimes because the age of the panels, obviously, on the old side, older, more worn panels, were just all the times where the guys missed. Like you said, the left side's we usually play tighter, but all the guys that had to play tighter now, that's still a pretty fresh lane surface to the outside on the left side, where all of a sudden, like, there's no friction there because it's not worn in. So all of a sudden, these guys still, I can maybe go back out there. Well, guess what? It's not as worn, so all of a sudden it still gets that hang.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just kind of funny how even though they can level the lanes and really take a lot of the equation out of play, there's still those little pieces like you were talking about where all of a sudden, like, is it going to be because of, they level the lanes, or is it because actually nobody's ever used that part of the lane because everybody played it tighter anyway, so there's less friction. It's
Right.
kind of funny how that works. They probably solve 95% of the problems with differences from pair to pair with that. But that little 5%, everybody's still going to have to think about here and there.
Yeah.
Well,
Then I got to tell you, so one of our most notorious lanes were 1 and 2, and my next pair was 1 and 2, and one notoriously always hooked out of the building more than any other lane in the center.
Yeah.
So when I moved to 1 and 2, now of course we have the SPH panels here, SPL panels over here, and the HPLs on the other side. So this side we do see a little bit more friction, and that was evident once we came over here. However, 1 and 2 played exactly the same for me. First time they ever really played exactly the same. Now, depending on the pattern, we have had patterns where it's weird 2 would outhook more than 1, or they'd be very similar.
Okay.
But they were never as similar as I found them to be today.
Nice.
Then we moved to 5 and 6. 5 generally always had a tight spot down lane. I'm not sure that I saw that over on 5 and 6 either. Those seem to play pretty even. Again, with some transition, they're going to play a little bit different, but I didn't really get that hang spot down lane that I usually get on 5. I was trying to make a run there at the end of game 4. I had, I could have gotten the back 8. I think I had 5 of them, and then in the 10th frame, I missed one out on 6, and it left a bucket. So if that tells you anything, 6 was just as hangy as 5 was. But I mean, it was me, it wasn't the lane by any means. But hey, it is what it is, right?
So you gonna show up at 2:30, or you got your one? Are you gonna one and done it? It?
So it's really funny that you asked me that, because we have a few different tournaments here, and some of them the Bopo tournaments, like our King Shit, Queen Shit tournament. And our doubles tournament. There's like this period that you can qualify in, and it's usually a few weeks period, and you can actually come in and bowl as many squads as you want trying to qualify. Now, the first year I bowled Bopo here, I came in, I tried to qualify once, was able to qualify, made it into the qualifying, double elimination, and went through, and I ended up winning King Shit, which was awesome.
Nice.
But I've gone with that the last couple of years following that, because this is now, I'm going to be going into my 4th season here. And I only really tried to qualify once. Year 2, I tried to qualify once, shot 6, I think it was 665, and didn't make it in. And then this year I tried to qualify once, snuck in, and so that's kind of the way I do it. I try once, and if I don't make it, it is what it is,
Yeah.
I mean,
I get it.
At the same time, on 1 and 2, I know I threw away at least 6 frames trying the wrong ball.
Okay. Because you were in urethane on that pair, or you moved the urethane on that pair.
And I had been in urethane on the other side of the house and started with urethane, didn't look too bad, but then late game 2, or in game 2, the pair of bowlers, the pair next to us, the bowlers were getting into resin.
Okay.
And it was really starting to look good. And we bowled this tournament on Thursday. It was kind of like, it was just a sweeper, win a spot sweeper in Lewiston. And it actually went Arturo, Frankie, and I, 1, 2, 3, winning the money to win the spot in. And, honestly, I used resin all day there. I didn't even have my urethane ball.
Okay.
And it looked pretty good. So, and they were playing something similar. So I came over here, again, here on the west side. I think the different lane surface didn't match up as well, because once I went back to the urethane, the urethane saw that extra friction that we have on these panels, and
Yeah.
it shaped even better than it did on the other side. I think I was 65 in the sixth, Phil, on an
Yeah,
open.
you salvaged $180 out of that
Yeah,
on 1
yeah.
and 2, and then you finished at 213. So yeah, you get those frames back. Yeah, but it's just one of those things where, like I said, all of a sudden everything's a little bit different. You're not sure because it's almost like bowling in a brand new house
It is, yeah.
today.
Yeah, and you know, it. So, I guess being too much of observing the rest of the field kind of got in my way a little bit.
Okay.
Because if I had just stuck to the plan of just rolling with the urethane, and when moving pairs, I really should have given the urethane a look before I tried switching. But you had Storm DeVincent, Justin Urbano was, they were banging the pearls.
Yeah.
Pearl resins off of the spot, and man, it looked so good. I just figured I'd try it because that's what I use. Like I said, Thursday night on the similar pattern that we bowled on. I think it was a Masters pattern or U.S. Open pattern that we bowled on, but the same length, similar volume. Yeah. So hey, whatever. You throw away frames and then you try to dig back, and I tried to dig deep there, game 4. And had I gotten had I been able to finish out with the 8 bagger, I might have been all right, but I had only got 5 of them, so I only got to like minus 12. So sorry about the camera issue we have. Somebody was down there. They moved camera a little bit. Phil's going to go down and reset that for you guys. Again, share this on your pages. We are live on Facebook. And also, if you want to check out any of the pairs, you can go to our YouTube channel and stream any of the pairs. You'll get the ambient noise. Bowlers who may not throw one good, you may hear a good little choice 4-letter word that I like to say a lot. I think I said it a lot last time when I missed the cut by 5 pins. I'm sure I'm going to miss it more than 5 by today, but I'll tell you right now, if tomorrow I end up missing by 5, you probably will get the old fuck parade going again tomorrow, but we'll see. Looks like these guys are just getting started for score. And we have some strikes here up on the pair that you guys the 2 pairs you guys are watching right now are 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. You have the Lawnmower Man making that petite split there on the left side. Master Splinter. Owner of Bowler Builders Pro Shop, getting up on lane 7. Thank you to Bowler Builders Pro Shop, where Frankie works, where I work. Master Splinter is the owner. We have Mallory Clark, who's our PWBA superstar, representing us out on the PWBA tour. And, unfortunately, Master Splinter starts out with the old Big 4 there, but he'll get back on it. He bowled earlier first squad. I think he was a couple pins over.
Yeah, let's actually bring that up on the screen here.
Sure, yeah. Let's get the
Let's give me
scores
your
up.
top 10. There we go.
All right, yeah. So you have Michael Martell leading the pack, shooting really nice 967. Did you get to watch any of Michael bowling?
Well,
there, Phil?
he was just throwing strikes and stuff, so I just kind of went to other people and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was
It's
pretty nonchalant.
ho-hum.
Yeah. Just
Ho-hum strikes, yeah.
Yeah, just popping near a 250 average, just ho-hum.
Yeah.
Gets
Yeah.
boring after a while.
So Michael Martell, actually, he was the winner of our first annual Hungus 8K last year. So no big surprise to see him at the top of the leaderboard.
Do we
for
have
squad
security
one.
here this year in case he walks out with all that money again?
Right.
Among other reasons, but we won't get into that here.
Yeah. Well, and then
Allegedly. Hold on. Let me make sure we cover ourselves.
Right.
Allegedly.
Yes, there we go.
There we go.
Second place, we had Jim Seacard, 9:16. Man, these guys were whacking it, huh?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
on a 181 finish. It's whoa.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's surprising.
I wonder if he hit a pair where he just didn't like it, or maybe he made a ball change that, was probably not the right move.
Yeah, and you know what? If he only had like 3 or 4 frames to go, he probably wasn't too, because it doesn't matter if you're first. It doesn't matter if you're first or fourth on the squad. You're going to Sunday, but then it's just a matter of where you're going to end up. If you're going to get those 2, if you're in the top 16, you get 2 rounds of buys. So that's the part that you really want to be, or you get 1 round of buys if you're 9th to 16th. You get 2 buys if you're first to 8th. So if he was thinking he's in the top 8, he may have thrown a frame or 2 away on purpose just to kind of see, okay, what's this ball going to do? What's that ball going to do? It wouldn't surprise me if that's what happened either that last game with 181.
Yeah.
He had room to experiment. He had a nice cushion. He had room to experiment, so why not?
Yeah, I agree. Get a look at a couple other pieces, especially on the transition.
Yeah.
Getting ready for tomorrow.
Especially when you only get 4 balls in each lane before your match starts. So, yeah, that's never easy because you got to jump right into that. It's only 3-game matches.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, you got to have the right ball in your hand right away.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So
Nice.
getting a good look at a couple other things is awesome. Jalen Scott Jones, I mean, you've heard that name before. I mean, no big surprise that he's up there shooting 900 as well. He was at 908. It was for the 4 games of qualifying.
Grindem Gaskill. That's an interesting Bopo name.
Yeah, Grindem Gaskill. He used to be the Gas Man, but we renamed him Grindem. I think it was last season because, man, we bowled on some really tough shit, Phil, and he has this track 10 ball, like 30-plus-year-old ball.
Oh, jeez.
And, no one else can even find a look at all. He pulls out that track 10, plays it up and at him. I mean, look at that, 278 to sneak his way into a guaranteed spot.
Yeah.
How awesome is that?
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, and, I mean, Tommy Gunn, Stom, Heartbreak Kid, a bunch of Bopors in there. Frankie Abralon. Frankie's got to feel pretty safe at 40 over.
Yeah,
I
that's
think,
pretty good.
I mean, because if we do the math, you got 30 guys, 3 squad, or 32 guys, 3 squads, so let's take 10. Double Cheese might have a chance at plus 30. I mean, we'll have to see what the pace is after this squad here. And once again, this is going to be just kind of like a PBA Tour event because if you watch, the pros always talk about as the tournament goes on, the lanes always seem to play a little different, a little tighter down lane because the back ends keep getting cleaner and cleaner and cleaner.
Absolutely.
So we'll have to see if these guys kind of adapt to that. And sometimes you see the scores on those second squads go down because, remnant. I mean, there's no remnant of a house pattern here at Bopo because the house patterns are 3-1.
Yeah.
Maybe 4-1 if Charlie's feeling generous.
I got to say, right now they are bowling on that the PBA Nationals pattern that they'll be bowling on in Wisconsin.
Okay.
It is a little bit softer pattern that they're bowling on right now compared to what we normally bowl on.
Okay.
But, yes, you're absolutely correct. We go by the old sport shot rule of 3-1 is sport shot, not the new sport shot rule, which is soft, we think, in USBC.
Was it 5-1?
I think it's 4-1,
okay.
yeah. Because I was just down in Kegel during January and talking with Coach Rick Wiltsey, and I personally, I think 4-1 is too soft for sport.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, if people are willing to take the challenge on, It doesn't have to be U.S. Open tough, but it should be something where you make a good shot, you should get rewarded.
Oh,
and if you don't make
absolutely.
a good shot or you miss a read on transition, you should have to pay a bit of a penalty.
Yeah.
I mean, U.S. Open, it's always full penalty. Here's the 1.5 board miss with a little extra rev, and you're through the face for a big 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need that here today.
Well, and, today it's probably not some of the toughest bowling that we have out here, but there was definitely a bunch of hook in the middle, and you did find some hang outside if you didn't play them just quite right. And, I found that the resin actually accentuated that.
Okay.
I should have stuck with the Purple Hammer, to be quite honest. But it is what it is, You take a gamble in this game sometimes, and sometimes it pays off, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yep. So we're looking at probably 30 over after the first squad. Projected cut, obviously, it's going to change after this squad's done. But, if you guys starting off here with some runs, there's Splinter, trips. You can't teach that kind of carry. You're only born with it when you're tripping 4 7-10s like that.
Right.
Let's take a peek over on 1 through 4. Like I said, we're going to stick on the main side, on the low side here at Bayside, on your main feed. If you want all those other pair feeds, especially on the west side of the building, on the east side. No, we're on the east side.
Yeah.
West side of the building, the old side.
No, we're on the west side.
We're on the
now.
west side.
Yeah,
So the east side is the old side.
Yes.
I remember that every time.
It's
I
okay.
start confusing it. But yeah, anything on the old side, go to the FDDS YouTube page and you'll get those feeds there. But open a second tab for it because that way you get the audio from the first tab here on Facebook or if you're watching it on YouTube on the main feed. And then you just get the ambient audio. So you can listen to us yammer on while you're watching your favorite bowler bowl their 4 games. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, so on the pairing that we're watching now, you got Buck Ripcord stepping up on lane 2. He's probably the best bowler we have in the state here for an amateur.
Okay.
You just saw El Nino, also known as Arturo Quintero, fresh off of the PBA tour. He's our resident PBAer here at Bopo.
What hit the 10-pin for ripcord there? It was like there was air, and all of a sudden it fall. That's how you get that good. You have air knock your pins down.
Absolutely. So Bucky, he's the reigning king shit, so we call that king shit carry.
Okay.
Yep.
Now here's for people that are watching. Most everybody that's watching at the moment I know has been to Bayside at least once. So maybe some stragglers. But if you win Bopo in the league, you get a banner above the lanes.
Yes.
Okay.
And you'll see those on the east side on the YouTube channel. Yep.
So if you win, obviously the Elias Cup, they get banners as well. If you shoot 300, you get your name on a brick by the old bar.
Yes, sir.
What do you get for winning the king shit or queen shit tournaments?
So we have these cups.
Okay.
So and the king shit cups, they're the smallest of the cups, but it's a trophy, a square-based trophy with a cup at the top. And traditionally, what we do here, because we like the adult beverages here.
Right.
Most people do. I don't drink. I garden. I make sure there's no weeds, and they need to be burnt. And that's the best way to get rid of them.
I've found that over the last year. I'd rather do that than drink myself. So.
Yes. So
I'm a late bloomer to gardening.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah. But anyway, so everyone usually drinks out of the trophy, the cup. It's actually funny. They'll pull them out on our bowling ball day, which is the day where we have all these tournaments, and you'll see them sanitizing the cups, getting them ready, all the trophies.
Okay.
So the doubles is much the same. It's just a bigger cup because normally you get 2 straws in there.
Yeah.
For the doubles title, and people will drink out of the cup for the doubles title. And there is a major, huge cup for winning Bopo. So not only do you get the banner, but there is a cup, and they engrave all of our names into the sides of the cup. So, my name's on the king shit. And this year, which is awesome, Frankie and I won the doubles. So we'll have my name will be etched into that one as well. The one that I'm missing, Phil, is the banner on the wall because we do also have we have this draft league. And our Bopo, Grand Slam, if you will, would include the draft league win, a Bopo banner, a doubles title, and a king shit title.
Okay.
So the one that I don't have is the Bopo banner. So I'm hoping that my team, Sharks and Strikes, has an awesome year this year and give it a run at least. I got to give a shout out though to Saucy Posse this year. They were absolutely stellar. Mallory Clark, Mallory.
Out of Queens right now. She was watching a little earlier this morning.
Yeah. She is part of that team. And if you guys want to watch 5 and 6, I do believe that we have.
Here we go. Let's get over.
Sarah is up on 5 and 6 right now. I do believe. Let me see. Dirty Lou. Yeah, she's going to be A over there. So it looks like she put that shit on everything, starting.
I always thought that because like I said, you get the banner of the brick for the king shit and queen shit tournaments. They should put your name on the stall wall because it kind of.
Yeah.
If you think about it, in the bathroom there should be like a stall wall in the bathroom that just has all the king shit and queen shit winners.
Yeah,
has their names listed and just in graffiti looking, like permanent marker graffiti looking stuff.
Yeah, that sounds
there we
cool.
go. I got to talk to Charlie about that. I thought of that last night sitting around at home when I was doing some research back at the hotel.
I'm betting that Bopo, we have some artists that could do some cool graffiti art in there. We do have a bunch of stickers up in the windows on the east side in the bathroom. But no, the king shit and queen shit trophies are a cup
Yep.
The doubles are a cup. The names are etched into the side. Most
that-
people drink out of them.
Hey.
But what I did, Phil, is with my king shit one, I went ahead and I just loaded mine up with some weed.
There you go.
Yeah, and
That's the way to do it.
yeah, so
Hey, I'm more-
it was cool.
I'd load it up with gum. That's just me, though. I'm more of the edible type
Oh,
of guy.
okay.
So,
Yeah.
So.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, Frankie Abralon, double fist.
Frankie,
And
Frankie
nice
Abralon
stuff to
coming in hot.
Yeah. Hey,
Go ahead
salute,
and,
my good man. We'll get you hooded up here with a headset and way to get.
Yeah, here's your headset, Frankie. Go ahead and throw that on. I'm not sure which slide he uses.
He
here.
would be the TD, the top dog. at the
Top
moment.
dog. Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
let's get you turned on there, Frankie. Welcome to the broadcast here. Great bowling this morning. You had a pretty good showing. You got to feel pretty good with your number that you threw out there. What was it, plus 40-ish?
Yeah, I was plus 42 for the
Yeah.
first squad, so I was pretty
Very
happy
nice.
with that, especially after a 180 start, a little rough start, but then pounded off that 267 game 3 on 1 and 2. So
Fuck yeah.
Cheers, my good man.
That was
Cheers,
awesome,
yeah.
dude. You
I
had
had
the
to bring-
front 7 and
I had to bring $2 Phil up Allagash White from downstairs.
There you
'cause
go.
You must have
Yeah,
been
yeah.
listening before when I was talking about it. So you must have been listening before. It's a beautiful thing.
yeah, so Dirty Lou actually is stepping up on lane 6 for you guys at home right now. So Dirty Lou, part of the Saucy Posse, the banner winners for this year.
Sun's out, guns out right now too. She's in
Yeah,
full flex
yeah.
mode.
Oh yeah, she does that a lot. She's in good shape. She was a college player too for Sacred Heart.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, really good player, smooth lefty, gets great shape on the ball. Love watching her bowl.
And that's, once again, you can't teach that kind of carry. You're only born with it. My
The
goodness.
snowplow, that
No
was-
wonder why these guys beat up on you in Bopo. They're carrying like that.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
That's
Yeah.
lefty carry, right?
Yeah.
Well, we
She's-
watched Buck Ripcord carry with air. All of a sudden, there was just air around the 10-pin.
Yeah, that
and
was-
it fell a minute ago.
That was the leaf blower shot.
no
Uh,
kidding.
Holden Green must
Yeah,
be in the
that,
back.
you put the
with
$10
leaf
in the
blower.
thumb hole. That's
Yeah.
that one. That's what I do.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, Ripcord don't need any extra ones. He gets enough.
Yeah. Oh, and he got a little help on that one, that particular one
It's,
we're talking about.
I don't know if you guys touched on it, but it's interesting with the scoring pace between the two sides of the house. The 9 through 20 side, obviously a little more lane play, a little older lanes. They tend to pick up a little bit faster. The mids read so quick over there.
Yeah.
So I used a little bit of loft to try to combat that on that side of the house. And this side, the ball kind of usually glides through the front. You definitely see more shape on the back, like we just saw out of Don Kopax's ball on lane 6. You see that ball just glide and then just come off that spot a little bit harder.
So what I actually learned from Bowling Voodoo, Frankie, is we have SPLs on this side and it's HPLs on the other side.
Okay.
So
Yep.
one of the things that they were going to do is try to make it even, all the way across the house. But it's hard when you have completely different panels at completely different age of the panels to make them exactly alike. But they definitely, we bowled on 1 and 2. I think 1 and 2 were closer to each other than they've ever played.
I had them identical.
Yeah.
Grindham, Gaskill, and Mike Clausen came over, and Clausen's like, how was 1 and 2? And I said, I was standing on the same spot, same target, same loft distance down lane, and it was unbelievable. Like, that's probably the first time in this building I've ever played 1 and 2 identical.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing the work they do, and just you hear the places that Bowling Voodoo's gone to, and I know there's probably not many proprietors watching right now, but if you're a bowler and your center isn't really consistent pair to pair, and they're not a ton. I mean, they're worth their money just to get the consistency for the league bowlers and keep them happy. Talk to your proprietor and just go, hey, see what these Bowling Voodoo guys are doing, because they've done a bunch of centers in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And one of the centers they did a couple of years back had like a huge 3,900 5-player team score get shot in it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane what they do to just kind of literally level the playing field. Jeff Rickles, who's a good acquaintance of mine, he does the 11th frame blog.
I know
in
Jeff. Yeah,
Wisconsin.
really, really good dude.
Yeah, Jeff says someday after he's old and retired, he's going to get out here and bowl the Hungus.
Perfect. Yeah.
Carl gave him the invitation. He's just got so much at work and other stuff going on. He goes, after he's retired, he's coming out here to bowl the Hungus 8K. I was just texting him a little while ago. But he had an hysterical too back in 1989 when the scores really took off at the ABC tournament in Wichita. They had all kinds of 300s and yards. It was because the guys that were in there just took their time and leveled all the lanes and balanced them out and everything with the synthetics. And all of a sudden, hey, look what can happen. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty. the stuff you can't see in bowling that can just drive you absolutely up a freaking wall.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
You can't see the oil. You can't see the topography of the lane.
Yeah.
And you guys ever see the video from Kegel where they had Pete Weber in, and they
Yes.
had bowled, and then they took
Yep.
him back out, and they just unleveled the lane and went 30 thousandths the other direction. And
That was
what'd you
wild.
guys do? Did you re-oil? Nope.
Yeah,
Just
it's
made
crazy.
it unbalanced.
And like you said, it really the value is there in having them come in because just getting your league bowlers to be happy. Because here, we're kind of a unique breed when we bowl on sport shots all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of bowlers, when they go in, they want to not only bowl on the pudding, but they want to have it be consistent from week to week. And Bowling Voodoo can definitely help you out with that.
Oh,
and,
nice job by old Jimmy.
One of the other local houses has actually contacted them, and I think they're going to be coming back later in the year to do that other house.
Okay.
And honestly, the quote I think he gave them was very, very fair because this other house could use some help. And they're going to be doing it all, like flat gutters, lane panels, all sorts of stuff. So it's going to be awesome. That was a blower.
That was
7.
an elbow deep 7-pin. My
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah,
Blower.
Is he a lefty? Kevin
No.
Tebow throws the ball amazing, by
Yeah,
the way.
he does.
Yeah.
He's come up to a bunch of events up here.
That
did you guys-
4-pin just vaporized.
Did you touch on Mr. 900 bowling on lane 8 right now, John Wilbur?
We had
No.
not yet. We had not.
Yeah, Mr. 900
I did
himself.
not know there was a 900 shooter in the building. Okay.
Yep, up right now on lane 8. Shot it with a radical black conspiracy.
Yeah, the original OG conspiracy. That
How
was
long
awesome.
ago did he shoot that?
That was 4 years ago? I
Okay,
think?
so right before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, right after
Okay.
that ball came out, actually.
Yeah. Great ball. I still have mine.
I have seen a 900 shot in person.
Have you
Oh,
really?
wow.
Yep. Second one ever was Tony Roventini. He's a lefty. He was in Milwaukee. He was at a center I was helping manage at. Well, later on I was helping manage at. I was working there part-time at the time, and it was a Monday night second shift league. So they hadn't re-oiled after the league before us either. So we jumped on and we started bowling, and he shoots the first 300. You go, okay, fine. Also, you hear he shoots another 300. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Then it gets to the fourth frame, and there was a Monday Night Football game on, and the music going and stuff like that. And Tony just asked, "Hey, can you just kind of turn the volume down a bit so people don't, holler and scream at the wrong time?" He didn't have to worry about that because everybody was stopped dead. By the time he got up in the sixth frame, the entire center just stopped to watch what he was doing.
I bet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when he
yeah.
stepped up in the 10th, I mean, nobody got up the bowl. I mean, he took his time and everything like that. And the last three, he just he just labeled all three shots in the 10th. Ran it. You bowled it on 3 and 4. It's a 16-lane center. Ran it all the way down. Ran it out to lane 12 after he carried it, and it was just like a bunch of high five. Everybody was on the approach and just high fiving on the way back. He got like 80 high fives on the way back to his pair. So then he
Did he run all the way to the liquor store to buy a bottle
No.
of Cristal?
The owner of the bowling center, Gary at the time was Gary and Gina Darashevsky. They've been divorced, and Gina owns it still to this day. He said open bar. I've had a
No
900 in my
shit.
Oh,
center.
boy.
Open bar for
That's
everybody.
scary.
You can't
Oh.
do that here.
Well, it was a Monday night at 11:30. Bar closes 2 in Milwaukee, so he wasn't gonna get dinged too bad.
too bad.
In 2.5 hours. But yeah, he's open bar. So then they called a couple of local TV stations, and they came down, and he got back up, no practice after about an hour and a half, and he smoked 8 more in a row.
Oh, my
Wow.
God.
He had 44 in a row till he left an 8-pin.
Shake them off.
That is
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So, and that center, Classic Lanes Greenfield, is the only center in the world to have 2 900s bowled in it. Because about 8-9 years ago, man, it's probably been that long since Mark Wickerman did it. It was a Saturday afternoon league that at one point in time, decades before that, I bowled in it. And it was 4 in the afternoon. It was just a big party league. Mark wasn't a drinker or anything like that. And he just showed up to help out some friends, bowl the season. And he goes, I'm not coming back. He said, I'm not coming back unless I bowl really good today. So he shoots 900. He's like, I guess I'm coming back next year on Saturdays, kind of
Right.
thing. So, yeah, so he shot
Is that
his.
good enough?
Yeah. So the one on 3 and 4 was while the center was still wood. They put in synthetics in 2002. And then in 2002 they put in synthetics, and then the second 900 was shot in synthetics in the same center. One pair over, 5 and 6.
Oh, wow.
3 and 4. Yeah, it's a pretty neat center. I still do a bunch of my tournaments when I'm at home there. It's just
Yep.
it's a feel like not like this, but similar. I mean, everybody knows each other there, and everybody looks out for each other, and
That's awesome.
yeah, it's it used to be a really big scratch league thing. They were one of the first centers when the ABC back in the day was testing sport bowling. We had one of their test leagues there that we did, and we stuck with that for a few years too. And then, like everything else at sport bowling, it seems to keep getting lower and lower. I kept trying to dig up sport leagues, and then my schedule got in the way about 5-6 years ago with the PBA.
Yep.
And now there's just one sport league that I know about in the Milwaukee area in southeastern Wisconsin. Because everybody wants to shoot on the China. Everybody wants a 250 average. It's like
We're just weird out here. We don't like the China.
You're not weird. You just want a true guide of how good you actually are.
That's 100% accurate.
Right.
And by the way, we have a brick watch on lane 1 and 2.
Oh, let's get over there.
Buck ripcord with front 7. I mean, we still got a little ways to go, but Bucky's shot bricks in this building before. So
just so you know, Frankie, when you had the front 7 on that pair before, I made mention of it. I hadn't mentioned it to the point. And you got up in the 8th frame, and I believe you 4-pin.
Yeah, I came in a pinch
six-pin,
high.
yeah.
I got it just a little bit in on that lane, and I was like, oh, maybe I can get lucky and trip it. But, 267 that game got me right back in the hunt, and then had to bail it out with that back 5 to get to 205 game 4. And that was, the transition from pair to pair got a little weird. The urethane obviously just pushes it from the front to the middle of the lane. And I tried resin on a few shots, and it just looks so sensitive. Like maybe if I had just whacked something with the 1000 pad to help it, but Dirty Lou has a great look on 5 and 6. That was brutal. That's payback for that squasher she carried earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Joey Pants here on 3 and 4. How's he doing so far? He's got heading at a 2-0 clip right now. Maybe he can get some strikes together. That looked pretty good.
That looked great.
I'm gonna see what he's throwing.
A little tame with the ketchup and mustard outfit today, though.
I know. What's up with that? Maybe he's saving the big one for tomorrow.
Before. Yeah. What's this, man? Ketchup and what are you, a hot dog? Ketchup and mustard? And nobody should ever have ketchup on a hot dog if they're an adult.
Yeah, you figured he'd have his no crutch arm shirt on for sure.
It's more of a tour thing. He knows coming to something like this, there's not going to be that. And there really haven't been many two-handers that I've seen in the field.
Yeah, I know Nate
conventionals.
Clark is bowling today.
He's on 17 and 18, I believe. That's a pretty stacked pair. You got Nate Clark over there. You got Cedric LaJoy. You got Dave Simard. It's a pretty hefty pair there.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to meet up with Ced yet. Ced and Nathan Rift Apparel.
You see their logo on our screen.
So as you guys know, Frankie and I were part of Team Rift. You can get our designs, our Frankie and Ding Dong Show designs, right from Rift Apparel. Contact the great people there, and you can get our FDDS logo shirt from last year with the purple background is going to have a black background for this year.
It will, yeah. We're doing a new one for this season, just changing the color.
You got to keep it fresh, man. You can't just go same old, same old.
No.
Yeah. And
this is one of my custom designs
Frankie
with the periodic
designs.
table design. So
yeah.
I run a medical lab in my spare time, and
yeah.
When I'm not bowling or having a beer,
that's when
life takes over.
Right.
Yeah, that's when life takes over. All right, so we're looking at.
So did Bucky not strike? Now he 4-pin?
No, 4-pin.
Yeah,
so once
Frankie
again,
Dark Cloud right there. That's what we call it around here.
Oh yeah, well no, it goes with anything. Is you can show it, you just can't say it. So that's exactly what I did to you this morning. So.
So that pair, I was talking about lane 17 18. We had Ian Fitzpatrick over there, really good lefty bowler as well. So that's a pretty stacked pair of lanes. I'd be kind of curious how they handle. I talked to Cedric a little earlier. I told him what I saw on that side of the house, and we're kind of curious how those guys handle it.
Yeah, I think both of us saw a little bit more shape over here on the new side than we saw on the old side.
It's interesting. I'm seeing like I'm left-handed myself, but I'm seeing like a disproportionate amount of lefties out in the field.
There's a lot of lefties
usually lefties
today.
Make about maybe 15% of a good scratch field. It seems like 25% of the field's been on the port side today.
I watched. There's a lefty on 5 and 6 who really straps on it pretty good. I don't know.
There's a couple other lefties there too, so they're dealing with more. Besides Dirty Lou, so they're dealing with. They're definitely dealing with more transition on the left side, and 5 and 6 and the righties are. It's like watching the Players Championship last weekend, where all the lefties were beating up on each other because they were in the same side of the bracket.
Right.
The Super Slam's going on today, right?
Super Slam's a little later today. They should be bowling. It's a weird format. And it's interesting because somebody could bowl 1 game off camera, 2 games on camera, and walk away with $100,000.
Wow. Well,
So
that's interesting.
off camera before the TV show starts. I think it's two local time here at Bayside.
Yep.
Before the show starts, they're going to bowl 1 game as a group of 5 on the TV pair, and then that's going to put them in the order for how they're going to bowl on the show. They're bowling single games by themselves, so it's going to be pretty interesting. I got it set for my DVR to record it
There you go.
because there's going to be a lot of talking. I think a lot of interviews with the bowlers and stuff like that between shots, even and that kind of thing. What'd you do in that shot? Because they're filling 2 hours with just 5 games of bowling. Where usually it's 8 games of bowling. It's 2 games at a time and 4 guys on the show.
Right.
And so it's a lot of time that needs to get filled. So there might be some fluff pieces in there as well, or whatever. Kimberly might get do a little extra talking, but it wouldn't surprise me if these guys had earpieces and mics on and talked to Rainey in the booth between shots and that kind of thing. It's great they have the technology to do that. It's pretty
sure.
awesome. And I think it's going to be a pretty interesting show. But then tomorrow is just a straight-up 5-player stepladder. How they bowl on that TV game is how they get seated in the stepladder.
Oh, okay.
So if you're high game on TV today, you're the 1 seed, and you win your match tomorrow. 2 games, $100,000. Bam. I mean, it's a very top-heavy prize list too. It goes $100,000, $40,000,
Ooh.
$16,000, $12,000, $10,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So
it's definitely weighted high.
how important is that seeding game knowing you're walking out with at least $40,000?
Right.
I mean, that's
Absolutely.
insane.
That's kind of cool, though, Phil, if they do, kind of fill some time with that, because
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see what's going through these guys' brain, as they're bowling, as they're seeing transition,
Right.
as they're making ball changes, or, sticking in urethane a little bit longer, or when it's a good time
Yeah.
to get out of it in real time would be kind of cool,
And it's another 2-pattern show as well. So
Oh,
they'll have
beautiful.
a different pattern. One of them is the Protagonist pattern. The other one's slipping my brain at the moment. But yeah, it's another
I haven't
2-pattern.
heard of that pattern.
I kind of like the
Yeah,
dual
Slipping my
pattern.
brain. No,
Slipping my brain.
So Frankie and I, we build our own patterns.
We
for
do.
I've seen
ours.
some of those monstrosities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
pretty
slipping
brutal.
my brain. I like the name for that.
Slipping
that sounds
my
like
brain.
might
I think we could have a
to,
$2 fill pattern.
sounds-
$2 Phil slipping my brain
I like
pattern
it.
this season.
It's 52 feet. It's a really light volume all the way down the lane, so you have to deal with it just an absolute
Yeah,
mess.
That sounds like
Slipping
right up our
my
alley.
brain.
An absolute mess sounds exactly right up our alley.
Yeah. So we did the FDDS flat 50, which was 1-to-1, like side to side and front
Yeah.
to back.
Yeah.
No
taper.
No taper at all, and that was ugly.
What did
was like
did
30
anybody
mils.
get the plus on that?
Well,
Was there a plus?
It was part of our dual It was a dual pattern tournament
okay.
for us, so
Okay.
that was
Flat
on our
50,
left
flat
lane.
30.
Okay.
Yeah, and we had
there you go.
30 foot on the right lane.
Should have made him use one ball on top of it. And really just beat it
So
through
we
their
do
skull.
have a one ball
Yeah.
tournament as well.
Yeah, that's always a good one.
Yeah, we don't do it as a dual pattern. But the cool thing about our one ball tournament is we'll allow you to whack it with a pad all day long. You can change surface every frame if you want.
And I think that's the most stupid rule that USBC has ever made and created, is that you can only change the surface of your ball prior to competition starting.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm with you.
you guys don't certify your tournaments,
Right.
Just-
No,
okay.
no.
I had a little problem with USBC back in the day, so I haven't certified my stuff in like 15 years.
I love you.
Yeah,
And
you fit right in.
even my youth tournaments, that's when I started giving, because they let you give out $500 in gift cards to
Yep.
the kids.
Yeah, for sure.
And so give the kids something tangible. Not every kid goes to college and all the other stuff. That's a whole other story.
I agree.
So anyway, so the rule I've always hated is that, especially for kids, because they don't have the 8-ball, 10-ball, 12-ball arsenal sometimes, especially if they're starting out. I had a kid one time in a tournament, had the totally wrong surface on his bowling ball to start with. He only had 4 balls with him.
Yep.
Totally wrong surface on the bowling ball. Shot 112 the first game. Changed the surface on the ball. Got it off a lane shine down to like 1500 grit.
Yep.
Shot 270 the next game.
Yeah.
His highest game ever
mean,
in his life.
Right.
And all he had to do was go back behind the lanes,
And just hit it with a
scuff
pad.
it,
Yep.
towel it off, don't leave a mess, be nice to the proprietor,
Right.
and then come back with it. And I've always let him change surface between games any tournament. And
Yeah,
it's just it helps the kids, especially the kids.
I agree.
Helps them out so much more because you don't need the 12-ball arsenal. You can get away with 5. You can get away with 4 or 5.
Right.
If you can change surfaces after every game, or even just freshen it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And some of the science behind it. You guys follow Ron Hickland at all?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
some of that shit he's got is way over
It's
my
unreal.
head.
Like he is, like he's really doing some good work with the technology side
Yeah.
and showing people the differences with how much ball changes from shot to shot, and just it's wild the stuff that he does. He's
absolutely.
fantastic.
Absolutely.
Oh, he's going to roll a 3-pin? Oh, I thought he was going to roll that 3-pin on lane 6.
Well, yeah, Joey Pants just messengered a 9-pin.
Wait. There was a messenger here at Bayside?
Yeah, well, it was
You know,
kind of
the
it was an
gutters here
elderly
are a little
one.
deep.
It was elderly.
If you haven't
but
noticed,
Well,
if
that's
you haven't
fine.
noticed-
It was a
I don't
wheelchair
mind that.
messenger.
I don't mind that.
So, Phil, have you had much experience with string pins or anything at all? Have you done any tournaments, called me action on string pin events?
I was at Parker Bones. I did the live streaming from Parker Bones Scholarship Tournament last Labor Day weekend. And at Howell Lanes, they took the last 5 lanes and they made it rev rates. It's Parker's training facility that he has with John Fury, who finished second here in a PBA event years back. And,
Yep.
But anybody can go in there, bowling it, training it, whatever. 4 of the lanes are regular lanes. The 5th lane is string pins.
Yep.
And honestly, I haven't bowled. My parents were sick. My parents have COPD in the pandemic, so I just kind of hung it up, and I haven't picked it really back up yet. So I'm using the Test Brunswick ball.
Yep.
They're doing ball. Kids can try the new Brunswick equipment. So I'm using that test ball. It doesn't fit. I'm bowling in tennis shoes, bowling on string pins, and it's interesting. If everybody's bowling on it at the same time, I got no problem with it whatsoever.
Yep.
If I got to bowl against somebody that's on free fall, I got a little problem with it because some of the shots seems a little tough to carry. Anything that's even close to a weak 10 is a weak 10, and there ain't no such thing as if you carry a messenger on a string pin, you should get like a plaque, a patch, or something because it's not easy. It's almost impossible to carry the messengers. But, I understand where the game's coming from. I mean, someplace like here will never have to go to string pins because you got guys like Greg. You got great staff.
Yeah.
You got more than one person trained on how to fix the machines and other stuff. It's fine. But for these little, if I'm in Podunk outside of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, in a little 12-lane center, and I have no idea what I'm doing, but you tell me string pins are going to – I don't have to do the maintenance on it, and all I got to do is change pins, lower the pins, change the string, and rotate my pins around.
Yep.
I can do that. And
Right.
so there's a 12-lane center by me that's or about an hour away from me that has string pins, and they're doing very well with it, and the clientele doesn't care because they're all bowling on the same thing. Now, he doesn't have – obviously, you can't have any sanctioned leagues or anything like that, but you're in the middle of farm country, man. They're just out to have fun and be social.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
sanctioning the national governing body has its point in place and time for certain things. The days of it being for us in leagues and stuff like that is long gone.
Yeah. And
And
I don't mind it as much if it has its own sanctioning section, so it's different than your free fall pins. And,
Right.
they kind of have to – you can't really lump those together. I think they said, 10 to 15% difference average-wise is what they're looking at right now, which is fine.
For a 200 average, it was about 7 pins. They
7
said.
pins, okay.
For a higher
So-
average, as your average gets lower because your ball speed goes down and that type
Sure.
of thing, then it definitely gets lower for that too because the pins just don't travel. So
Just looking at some scores on the 1 through 8 side, right now, 243 for Mr. 900 on 7 and 8 was high on that pair.
okay.
Dirty Lou, the lefty, on 225 on 5 and 6, and looks like Joey Pants. Nope, actually 217 was high on that pair, so that actually wasn't. Pants
right.
shot 216. So
I gotta go fix the camera. I just went to peek what was going on the
Oh,
on the
yeah,
old
yeah.
side, and somebody decided to molest my table, so I'll be back.
All right.
that was
Yeah,
actually Jamaican Jerk with the high game on 3 and 4 with the 217. We love
Nice.
Jamaican Jerk. Actually, I'm wearing his KGB glass hat.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely. He
you
makes
know-
some really, really cool glass donuts.
Yeah, they make
just,
great.
absolute
He makes
art
great
pieces.
stuff. I mean, it's unbelievable, his
Yeah.
shop. And when I was out in Reno, we're out there at the degenerate blackjack table, me and Viking and Tommy Guns, and we had a guy and his wife asking about it. And I had so many people asking about his shop because I wore the donut hat pretty much exclusively while I was out there. I love the hat. I love what he does. So, Tony Bennett off the wall,
Wow.
getting the 4-pin out on the 245. We hope you guys are enjoying the coverage. We want to thank Phil Brilo, $2 Phil, 10 on the Deck Productions. What a great setup he has, and what a great
Oh, it's
guy.
amazing.
Like, it's
Yeah, yeah.
unbelievable. I finished my Allagash White. He's only halfway through. I think.
Well, I think he mentioned earlier he doesn't partake in alcohol as much any longer.
Okay.
Yeah, he's.
Well, Ding Dong. I already I went plus 42, but I've already on the re-entry list for 230.
Oh, are you?
So I need to get lubed up for the 230 squad.
Absolutely.
Because I got to bowl one squad sober, and like last year, I'm not going to be annihilated like I was last year when I went plus 88 and got a bye.
Well,
but I got to be feeling good a little bit for that squad.
Yeah. I'm hoping you're not in quite as much pain as you were last year.
I'm in zero pain. Actually, my broken pinky feels great.
Yeah. Well, you got it wrapped up. It almost looks like a mummy.
Right, and that's how it has to be. I tape up the sides just to protect that joint. And
we love to protect joints up in here.
Right. So
yes. No harm to any joints around.
Look at El Nino just peeling that urethane off the corner.
That fucking guy is good.
He's not bad. Bucky sucks. He opened in the 10th. I'm just kidding. He shot 245. He did open in the 10th, though.
Fuck,
I love Bucky. Plus 45 is not a bad place to be after one. That's better than how I started, which was minus 20 behind the 8-ball.
Yeah, I don't even
What
remember.
did you end up at, Ding Dong? I didn't even.
Minus 12.
That's not bad. I mean, that's
not good enough.
Right. Are you bowling 230?
Why?
So you can qualify and bowl tomorrow? If not, I guess you can be on this killer setup all day.
I think I'm going to be on the killer setup. Although, I gave away, let's face it, on 1 and 2, I gave away at least 6 frames. Trying to play, trying to get out of the urethane.
Right.
And
why would you ever get out of urethane? I mean, I'm a lefty. I don't understand why anyone throws resin on sports shots ever.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Well, so, yeah, I don't know.
You're the right-handed lefty. That's what we're going to start calling you.
Okay. So here's what happened. I was watching Storm.
so here's what happened.
Well,
Storm made resin look good.
Yeah, and they were right next to us, and they were making it look amazing. And it was kind of almost the same look that it had Thursday night in that sweeper that, it went Arturo, you and I, 1, 2, 3. We ended up winning our cash for the spot today.
That was great.
And it looked very similar to the line that I was playing Thursday night. So I tried it, and it was absolutely fucking garbage.
I'm going to go on my phone.
Hot garbage.
And I want to see how we're looking on our YouTube channel here.
So, on the YouTube is really cool. You can pick which pair you want to watch. So, we have coverage of the entire qualifying. Obviously, here on the east side, you're watching lanes 1 through 4. They're getting changed up. Just El Nino just finishing up on that pair. El Nino got to fucking 250-something, didn't he? What was that, 256, Frankie? 258?
That is 258 for El Nino.
Fuck, yeah. So El Nino, Arturo Quintero, fresh off the PBA tour. It was cool, very cool, I got to say, him going first. It was then you, Frankie, going second, and me third.
That was fun.
Kind of like the boys.
Kevin Tebow finding out the hard way how 13 and 14 play, because I'm watching our feed on that side, and he sees that pickup so fast on that side. Like, that ball just went right straight through the face for a 3-6-10. Not uncommon when you go from the 1 through 8 side to the 11 through 18 to see the ball just pick up an extra 2 to 3 feet sooner than you think it's going to.
What pair were you just like? You said you were looking at 13 through 16?
13 through
All right,
16.
I'm going to try to work my magic and get to the other side here. Hopefully the feed.
There we go.
This pair's been a little finicky on my ass all weekend. So, hey, we're in game 2 now, though. Let me.
That's good.
And he's got a ton of ball speed, too. Tebow has a ton of ball speed.
Yeah.
So, for it to even affect him that much.
Right.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is that Scotty Too Hottie
Scotty Too Hottie.
One off the right?
Did he go one off the right? Did that stay on the lane?
Yuck.
That's $1. No. No, I think it's a gutter.
Okay.
That's $1, by the way. That would be a gentleman's one, though. So we're gonna
Gentleman's one.
So we're going to have a tournament where it's called, like, basically, if you knock it out of the gutter for a spare, we call it a gentleman's spare around here.
Okay.
You always have to take it off, obviously. But we're going to have a tournament where all that counts. So you bounce anything out, the ball comes out, pin, doesn't matter. It's going to count. It's all going to count.
If you get a bad rack, with some pins falling, and you got
then you have to deal with it. You can't re-rack it. You got to throw it.
Roll it with the deadwood.
Nice. Right. There used to be a bowling centers in the Milwaukee area called Red Carpet Lanes, and then eventually they were bought out. Eventually, it was a chain of 9 or 10 bowling centers. A couple of them closed. Wrestling got
Look at fucking Natty Ice. Dude. It's on a strike. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. And now it's just Bolero, Wauwatosa, and there's one other center left. So They did it. They did a promotion one time. And this is back in the early '90s. Come out in open bowl. If you leave just the head pin, if it's red, if you struck, you got a free game of bowling. If you left just the head pin, and then made the spare, you got $50.
Oh, wow.
I know a buddy of mine that was just a freaking fireballer, and he'd fireball into the 3-6 and hope for the back door to miss the head pin.
Yeah.
He made $250 in a day. The next day, the promotion was done.
Yeah, that was it. He
like
killed it for everybody.
Killed it for everybody. Like, you asshole.
Right?
Oh, nice Brooklyn on lane 12. I don't know who that was.
So we have, in Lewiston, we have this thing called Monte Carlo, which is similar.
Colored pins and
colored
stuff like
pins,
that. Okay.
And, you know, like if you have a certain colored pin, it's $1 for a strike. If it's a certain color, it's a couple bucks. If you have, like, certain pins, like, let's say a 1-7-10 that are colored, it's worth $3. And, you know, there's always special rules and everything. So and that's kind of cool because, you know, you go in and, like last week, it was any – so if you're righty, if you leave a 10 pin and pick it up in game 1, it was $2.
Okay.
So I'm going in there trying to throw like wrap 10s, you know, and it's fun to not bowl for score and to do stuff like that every once in a while.
Look at
you
this.
know?
Lane 14, we have Mr. 900 coming up, by the way. If you hadn't seen him before, that is John Wilbur.
Yeah.
Bull Leicester tournaments where you're trying to pick off the 1 and the 7 and the 10 every frame. Low ball for 20. Yeah. I've seen several tournaments with that with low ball.
So yeah, I play low ball because I coached a high school team out of here, the Bayside High Rollers, and we play low ball as one of our practice games that we play. It's kind of cool. I have all the players, like, we'll have these little competitions and challenges, and they'll get player points, and they'll compete within each other. And I find it really cool because, like, when we get to actual competitions, they're used to competing within each other. They're still competing within each other, and they don't even, like, realize the other teams are there sometimes.
Okay.
And it's kind of cool, you know what I mean, because they're always just trying to push each other and get better.
Weren't they state champions this year?
They were, yes, as a matter of fact.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, and actually, so I had the individual champions, too, for the boys and the girls came. And my daughter was the actual girls champion. She's down bowling at the Neo right now.
Okay.
In East Providence, Rhode Island. It's probably the biggest youth tournament of the year.
Yeah, Chuck Gardner's there. Yeah, I saw Chuck in the Brunswick. Yeah, Chuck in the Brunswick Youth Experience. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
They came out by me with the World Series of Bowling being in town in April, and Chuck and all the PBA pros that came out put out such a first-class experience for the kids. And we had kind of a neat format for it because the kids signed up as 4-person. The kids all signed up 4-person teams who were in that center that the 900s were in. So I had room for 16 teams. So we sold it out. So they bowl all their qualifying, 16 Baker games across the house. That way, I caught the bad kids start that young too. I caught the bad parent because they learned from the parents.
Right.
So they bowled 16 games across the house.
Bowling voodoo will take care of that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we cut some match play. The number 1 seed in qualifying was the top seed for the live stream. And they bowled as 4-person teams. Then when they got to the live stream, they got paired up with a Brunswick pro. So we had Dom Barrett,
nice.
Packy Hanrahan, and Ryan Simonelli that got drafted. Packy was the first one to get drafted by the kids, of course.
Well, yeah.
Simonelli's going, I'm just a freaking grandpa.
Right.
These kids barely know me.
Right.
He wasn't wrong. He was the last one to get picked. Yeah, he was the last one to get picked. And we had him bowling on this LBC pattern, too. It's kind of fun. We had him bowling on the same pattern. And some of the kids obviously didn't play it right, so it got kind of blown apart, kind of funny. And but it was still challenging for the kids. But, the stuff that Brunswick Youth Experience does with Chuck Gardner, I mean,
they're
giving Chuck free reign.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm sure they got a butt ton of added money, and I'm sure Bowl for Life is giving away some random scholarships.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Just show up for a tournament. Hey, you're here, you're good, you're having fun, you're good spirits. You might win $250. Let's pull a name out of a hat. We did. They gave us 10 of those.
That's awesome.
Out of 64 kids at our tournament. It was
They do
insane.
such a good job giving back to the youth community.
God,
I mean, my daughter won one of the Bowl for Life scholarships years ago. My daughter went on to bowl and collegiately as well.
Yeah.
And just wonderful people. I've known the Gardners for a long time. We do have some score updates for after game 1.
Hold on. Let me get off this pair here because, like I said, I have this feed tricked up. So I want to get the scores on.
So that 11:30 squad. So
Yeah. So game 1 scores.
Game 1 score. So the cut for the
Miss Brady, right?
Yes, Mrs. Brady, my wife.
Yeah,
who does a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
She's a one-woman show down there. She so plus 43 for the top 4 right now for this squad. So.
Well, game 1, so no transition has happened yet. So.
Right. So if you look at basically the top 30, you're at minus 20, but. I mean, if we're looking at taking 30 to 32, say you just go top 10 each squad, you're looking at plus 16 right now. But again,
we projected it about plus 30, I think,
yeah,
right,
I
Phil?
think plus
Yeah.
30
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Because but the scores were probably a little bit better in the first squad. They're going to probably get tighter and tighter as we start to strip the back end back to the 39 feet every time. But, then again, you got bowlers that are re-entering that maybe figured something out. So you never know. By the third squad, we might
There
be.
you are.
So there's your top 10-ish on the squad
Yeah.
right now. Obviously,
right.
Once things start getting in
Oh,
a little
wait.
bit more, we'll have to
Yeah,
figure
we're-
out how to display stuff
Yeah, I
correctly.
think you can.
We're
I think you
showing,
can select
40
just the
through-
11:30 squad if you need
It
to.
was giving me brackets for game one, but it wasn't giving me the.
Okay, I put it in the chat too. If you need to take it from there and pull it up
Yeah,
for
it
just
Looks
the
like it's
11:30
showing
stand.
Yeah, we'll do
40th
that too.
place there. Phil.
Yeah, because it's combined.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
showing
yeah,
the
yeah.
whole thing.
Yep.
But
So
yeah, so that's
let's
basically
get
your
rid-
top
let's get
10.
rid of that
That's
here.
basically your top 10. Yep.
There we go.
For
But
sure.
at least you can see this scoring pace isn't that much different, like you said, other from game one of.
Yeah, a few of the guys whacked them the first game, and it's pretty close. But it's interesting once you get people to the other side of the building. The ones that whack them here sometimes don't whack them there. The ones that whack them
Right.
there don't do it over here. So some people like the higher friction front, and some people like the higher friction back. So
You think I know the difference between up and only by now in my life? No, why would I know that? Jiminy Christmas! Hey, here we go. Let's
we're
get
gonna
those-
we're gonna
let's get
have
those-
it here.
Let's get those back on the screen.
Oh,
for
there we
everybody.
go.
How
Yeah,
about
that's what
that?
we like.
Up, only, down, and
Yeah.
left.
It's a up down, left right BA start, right?
I
Is that
think
how it
so.
is?
Cheat
Yes.
code? I need a cheat code.
I need the cheat
So
code.
if you
right. The
look
old
at the
contra code.
scores, you got a re-entry right there. Urbano bowled first squad.
Yep.
So obviously he took that information and he's leading
So-
second squad after one
So
game.
here's another interesting fact. You see a lot of those scores coming off the 1 through 8 side, except for Urbano, El Nino, Ripcord, Wilbur.
Yeah.
But you notice no Cedric LaJoy up there, no Dave Samard. They bowled on the 11 through 18 side.
Yes.
So
Didn't Hungus start this squad on the?
he did. Yeah,
old
he was
side?
up
So,
on the he was up on the higher side.
So he's 05. Like, he got
but he was 05. That's not bad.
Well,
over
he
there.
went considering he went 42-42 last round, but that was 242, 142.
142, right? Yeah, yeah. He came over
the
after
Century
game 2 and
Award.
told me.
Right, the
Yeah.
reverse century.
Yeah.
Hi, Mrs. Brady. Is it Mrs. Brady or Miss Brady? Mrs. Brady.
She's a big Tom fan. Always has been. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even after he went to Tampa? Okay. My condolences to you. Sorry about that.
Well, it's when you lose your wife to Tom Brady, that's not the worst thing in the world that can happen to you.
I don't see Tom Brady making the cut in this, Frankie.
Right.
No, I like my chances bowling against him. Maybe not playing football against him, but I'll take my chances
He's
bowling.
washed
Right.
up. Washed up.
Ripcord now on 5 and 6 goes double 6 spare. That was a good bucket cover right there. That's the chicken bucket.
Chicken bucket.
Yeah, if you get it with the extra pin, it's a chicken bucket with fries.
Okay.
And if you happen to leave the 10 pin with it, which does happen here sometimes, that's the chicken bucket with fries and a Coke.
Ah.
I saw the weirdest thing Thursday night. Remember, it was the 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, the
That was-
Super Fupa?
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah.
The
Well, you know what?
Super Fupa, yeah.
Fupa.
Well, you know what
Yeah.
we call the 1-5-8-9.
No.
That's the cock and balls.
Yeah.
Cock and balls. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
cock and balls.
And
There
if
go.
you leave just one of them, that's called the Lance Armstrong.
Like, yeah, the 158 or the 159, yeah.
Love it.
Welcome to the Frankie and Ding
oh,
Dong
this
show,
is
folks.
beautiful.
Yeah, we got a few of them. Yeah.
This is beautiful.
Yeah. So, anyway.
We have
after
waitress
that-
service up here. Or? Might
Listen,
need it
when
by
you're
the
when
end
you're
of
ready
the
for a refill, you just let me
day.
know.
After this game, I'll be ready for
All
a
right,
refill.
that sounds
I
great.
got nowhere to go, and who knows where my wife's at right now? She's buying out most of the small stores in downtown Portland.
Oh, jeez.
Well,
So-
that's the thing is that when Charlie said, "Hey, why don't you think about coming out here?" and I was talking to you guys, and it took about 8 seconds of talking between everybody, and we're
Right.
like, "Yeah,
Right.
let's do it."
That
Yeah.
sounds great.
Charlie's writing the check. We're here. Beautiful. My wife was kind of hemming and hawing. I'm like, going, really? You're going to miss out on a trip to Bayside? You love Portland. You're going to miss. And she's like, I don't know. And finally, like 2 weeks ago, she went like, you know what? You're right. I got all this time off of work. Yeah, it's driving. I can see the country. Whatever. Fine.
Yeah, let's
Beautiful.
do it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So
Portland's a great place to
It is.
spend some of your time off, for sure.
I'll tell you what. Even the walking during the PBA League here this last year. there's some people that down on their luck when you start walking towards downtown and
Right.
that kind of thing. And
Like any other city.
like any other city, but they're decent human. You know, they don't screw
yeah.
with you too much and that kind of thing. So I'm walking back, I'm hoofing it, getting my steps in from here to the hotel down in Old Port, and this one guy hollers at me and he goes, "Hey, you rich MRFer." I go, "If I was rich, would I be walking?" And he goes, "Good point." And he turned around and he walked.
Just
I love
You got me there.
I love the people in Portland because
Yeah.
even somebody down on their luck is like, "Yeah, good point, man.
yeah.
You got it."
Right. That's great. That's a good story.
But
Good
it's just,
story.
yeah, and, you know, even, you know, people, you know, that are down on their luck, they just want to be and they just want to do their thing. And it's such a good town. People helping people out. You see it all the time. I saw it here yesterday with Open Play. There were guys coming in to practice for today or get loose or whatever, bowling, and there were families that are out bowling, that kind of thing. And there were people getting lucky breaks on the open play lanes, and the bow pullers were high-fiving them and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that, and a good break.
That's,
I mean, you don't see that. You don't see that anywhere else. You know, the league bowlers are practicing. They're all dead serious.
Yeah.
These guys didn't. Nobody cared. It's just like, hey, we're having a good time.
It's one of the
Nobody
great
cared.
things about bowling in this area, you know, and, you know, I grew up in the traditional bowling centers and the
Yeah.
traditional bowling leagues, and then, you know, coming here was such a different experience and just something that you just embrace, and everyone here is just so nice and cheers each other on, and there's no attitudes. You check your attitude at the door if you have one, or else
Right.
you're not really going to fit in here.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it just starts from the top down. I mean, Charlie's just such an amazing human being and just takes care of everyone, loves everyone, and just, you know, it just, that filters through the entire, not only the leagues, the staff, the open players, everyone that comes in here. There's just something for everyone. And, you know, no one ever roots against someone else. No one ever will fist pump when someone opens. They're going to fist pump you when you get your first three-bagger, you know? So,
Yeah, absolutely.
and
yeah.
that's the one great thing about this community. It's all inclusive. It doesn't matter where you've come from, where you've been. When you're here, you're one of us.
Yeah.
You're family.
Yeah, absolutely. And more than anything, I mean, the first kind of rule, I guess, if you'd say it was a rule of walking through the door is D-bad. Don't be a dick.
Right.
You
I've
know,
used-
It's right on the Bull Portland
I've-
page.
Yeah.
I've used that term more than once. Brought it home with me. It's just like, D-bad, man.
D-bad, man. Yeah, and that's how it is. Yeah, we
Right.
all cheer each other on. It doesn't matter if you're bowling, quote unquote, against someone or not. You know, as far as I'm concerned, you get to bowl with people.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the coolest things we have here is our draft leagues. We have you know, 2 draft leagues actually. During the summer, we do a 3v3 draft league, which tends to bowl on a couple of the tougher shots here over the year.
Is it
And
just 3 games you guys bowl to then?
3
by
games,
3?
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we have our traditional draft league, which is like BOPO. It's 6-person teams. You bowl 4 people per game.
Okay.
2 people sit each game, and so you bowl 2 games a night. But it's really cool getting to bowl draft league because you get to bowl like Frankie said. We come from the traditional bowling world, like most of bowling,
Yeah.
and you know, like him and I being you know, quote unquote, maybe higher average. We, of course, would bowl together, but we would bowl with other higher average folks. We'd never get to bowl with, like, the 120, 130 average women or, you know, men or whatnot normally. But here in Draft League, it's a snake draft, so every team has higher and lower averages, and it's really cool. You get to meet these people. You know, you learn from them, they learn from you, and everyone just has fun. And you get to bowl with people that you'd never, ever in the normal bowling world get to bowl with, and it's fucking awesome, Phil.
Speaking of bowling world and places to go and have fun, we're going to play a game right now. We're going to play Find My Wife's Bra on the Ceiling at Holler House in Milwaukee. If you can find my wife's bra on the ceiling at Holler House, it's in that mess somewhere. I'm not going to say where. The clue is there is a leopard print bra there, but that's kind of the same vibe, and I'm going to play some more video from that in a second. Because have you guys, I assume you've never been to Holler House?
I have not, no.
Okay, I already told Charlie because he's coming in for the PBA LBC National
That's
in
right.
July.
Yeah.
That we're going down there. Kathy and Tom, the owners there, they're 3rd generation. There's 5 generations overall. The kids and the grandkids work there too now. And it's just, you walk in the door and you're freaking family. And even if you don't bowl,
Right.
you just walk in the door, you're freaking family. It's an absolute blast.
I'll tell
I
you.
gotta find the rack. I gotta find the rack where.
Yes, I want to see this.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, here we go. Let's get back to the action here. Come on, YouTube, play nice. So these guys are practicing. So obviously, human pin setter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
2 lanes in the basement. You can see the shine oiled by hand.
Yep.
All the players of the USA versus the world on the stairs. There was no room for fans down there. Everybody was watching closed circuit TV. Just so you know, my monitors were period accurate. So they were from like the 1920s. So and then Belmo going
That was
wide.
awesome.
Yeah.
And taking out the
Nice
you
four count.
just see him laughing on the way back and everything.
Right.
So that was probably one of the hardest live streams I've ever done in my life
I would
working.
imagine.
But you could just see how little room there is down there, that kind of thing. And they still bowl four personal leagues down there.
Do they
Really?
really?
Yeah, 2 and 2. Yeah.
Wow.
No kidding.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. They bowl 2
Like
teams.
10 shifts a day.
No, just there's 4 teams in the league, so you either bowl at
Oh, okay.
6 o'clock or 8:30. They don't.
okay.
There's no screw around. There's no such thing as slow bowling at Holler House, and so there's no such thing as slow drinking either.
Well, yeah.
If you need to use the women's room for the women, it's the door on the left there.
I see that.
So you
yeah,
got to be
just
really
past the
careful
lane.
when you walk out. That you don't. There's about a 4-foot hallway there, but yeah, there's where the women are. But yeah, it's such a cool place. It's like if there was a list of like 10 centers people should go to
Yeah.
before they die. This is one of them. That's one of them
I
for
agree.
sure.
That's
Yeah.
all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't wait. I got to get out there.
Yeah,
It's
if
funny.
you
I
guys-
bowled a few Masters in Wauwatosa, and for some reason I never made the trip to Holler House.
So, yeah, it's pretty freaking cool. Oil with a rag mop.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. You just see these guys
Yeah,
just
you
laughing
can see
their
'em
asses
laughing.
off.
Yeah, that's
and then
hilarious.
Belmo just goes and shoots 240 like it's no big deal.
Right.
After
Yeah,
he
yeah.
gets all that done.
What a surprise, right?
So yeah, it's insane.
Oh, wow. What just happened on lane 1?
Medea is so his nickname here is Medea because actually I bowled Tyler in the semifinals of this tournament last year. When I finished third, he beat me to move on to the title match, but he just absolutely stoned that 8 on lane
That
1.
was disgusting.
So his name's Tyler Perry, so his nickname has to be Medea. I mean, it has to be.
There was somebody made a quote on a TV show I was watching the other day. I've kind of thought about this for bowling because when people say you get fucked by a stone 8,
Yeah.
anything can be used as a dildo if you're daring enough. I heard that. I'm like, going, that pretty much sums up a
That's-
stone 8 in bowling.
Yeah,
that
pretty
that is
much, yeah.
accurate. Right.
Anything can be used as a dildo if you're daring enough.
That's
That
right.
was a beautiful. I want that on a bumper sticker, actually.
Yeah, I'm not daring enough. Phil.
No, neither am I. So,
He covered
gotta-
up that 8-pin now.
ex-girlfriend from my 20s, that might be, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah, the Stone 8, I think you could call that the ex-girlfriend. That would be
Yeah,
a fitting,
right.
fitting
That's-
thing for the 8-pin.
Yeah,
That's pretty legit.
the bitter ex-wife who takes half of everything you own, including your soul.
I like the guy on lane 2 just threw it out the window and is waving at it. He's like, bye. And
Bye.
that is correct.
Later.
You couldn't get it away from you too much. Like, down lane's fine. If you get it away from you through the fronts, it's never going to hook.
Yeah. I always like using the soul-sucking 8-pin because all the other 4-letter words you can't use on air.
It's accurate.
You know, so
Very
yeah.
accurate. Dave Samard liking this side a little better than the other side.
Tilly 4 9s.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Dark clouded him already.
yeah, there you go.
Didn't take
But
long.
as you said, when you're going to get a little more angular now on this
Yeah.
side because the ball is going to push a little farther through the
Yep.
fronts and save that energy. So it's going to be interesting because I don't know if word's going to get out or not. I mean, I don't know how many PBA pros are watching the stream, to be honest, right now, or how many PBA league managers are watching the stream right now. But how many those league managers are going to realize what's been done here with the lane leveling and stuff when they used to draft
Right.
their team off of basically what the TV pair would
Absolutely.
do.
Right.
And
Right.
last year when they knew they were on the old side,
Yep.
what they needed, they needed high rev, high speed guys
Yep.
for qualifying.
Absolutely.
So now what are they going to do? They're going to hold their 3 guys, but what are they going to do for the other 2? Are they going to know what's going on? So it's going to be pretty damn cool.
Yeah,
I don't know if
absolutely.
I don't know if I'm going to be working or not. I don't know who's going to be live streaming the qualifying. If it's not Bowl TV, I hope I get brought out here again.
I hope you do.
I might
That'd
just,
be great.
Yeah, that
I
would
might
be
just
great.
come out just for shits and giggles again, though.
I was going to ask you if you were
Just the
going to
hell of
be
it.
coming out for the PBA League stuff at all. or
There's
if
so
that
much
was-
convoluted stuff with PBA and Bowl TV. Like, it was odd because that was the kickoff of a PBA event with USA versus the World,
Right.
and Bowl TV should have had the streaming rights for it, but they never even came close to doing anything with it.
Ah.
So it was all PBL. So trying to figure all that stuff out is just, I just wait for the phone call and say, yeah, I'll be there. You know, because
Well, my
love
vote's
of the
for
game.
you.
Love of
My
the-
vote's for you to
I
get the
appreciate
streaming
that.
rights.
So, I mean, I was goofing around with a couple of guys this year, and I'm going to leave certain names off my list when I watch Bowl TV, and I just have the sound down.
Well,
So you're the reason. You're the reason why I watch Bowl TV with the sound off.
Yes.
So
well, 7 and 8. I was just not to interrupt.
Yeah.
Gutter Boy loves that pair of lanes, and he has proven why he still loves that pair of lanes. Sometimes it's
Oh,
just
let's
a confidence thing. You know,
Is
he's
he-
got strike spare,
he's got a
six
chance
bagger.
for 280.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get over there. Let's
Yeah,
let's
he.
bring it.
Yeah.
And we also, while you're on that feed, we have someone with front 5 on 5
Oh,
and 6.
going
so-
for the PBR 6-pack.
Yeah, the
I
that's
did
right.
wear my visiting jersey.
I see
today.
that, the
I see
Pounders
that,
jersey.
yeah.
That's good.
I got the
solid.
Since I'm from there, man. I gotta wear it. I gotta
I like it.
represent. So
Boy, nice shot by Niner there on lane
absolutely.
7.
I had to go. I mean, you gotta go nickname, even though it wasn't given to me. Actually, this nickname wasn't given to me by Bopo, but it was born here.
Oh,
Really?
cool.
It was born. The first year we were out here, it was during the main event in 2015, and I didn't have a nickname yet. It was Mike J. Laneside,
Yep.
Jeff Goodger, the internet bowling personality, and I
Yep.
was just Phil
Just Phil.
Bryla. And I'd only been working with. I didn't even have like 8 months. I think it was about 7 months in with Extra Frame at that point in time. So the first nickname Mike J came up with was Phil Frames, and then we saw somebody here had
Yep.
Phil Frames.
Yeah, we
Yep.
know Phil pretty
Okay,
well.
so you can't do Phil Frames. Then Mike J came up with Phil Balls, which is horrendous. There's
Yeah.
only 2 guys on the PBA Tour that still call me Phil Balls. One of them's Dom Barrett, which isn't surprising in any way,
Right.
shape, or form.
Right.
And then the other one is Stu Williams. Still calls me that,
Still
too.
calls you
Just
that.
kind of
Yeah.
dig in and that kind of thing. So then for years, I used to work at a small little 8-lane center outside of Milwaukee and help a buddy of mine out when he couldn't find bartenders on weekends and stuff like that.
That's
and they
El
gave out
Nino.
they gave out the change from when his dad owned the place in '76 when they brought the $2 bills back. Gave out the change of $2 bills and the gold Sacagaweas.
Yeah.
Because all the hot shots, because it was near Lake Geneva, which is a hoity-toity area
Yeah.
between Chicago and Madison. And so all the rich guys, they'd buy a $3 Pabst, and they leave you give them a $2 bill, they just leave it behind. They didn't give a rat's ass. So I take the $2 bills back to Milwaukee with me, and I just start tipping with them. Every emergency, I get a $2 bill from. Now you can't do that in Portland,
No, you can't.
obviously,
No.
Right.
because they know where you've been.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So-
They're 100% accurate right there.
So and then I got busted shortly after because of that. Here, one of the bartenders, I know where you were last night. I'm like, no, I wasn't there. I know the story. So when I'm in Portland, I refuse to tip in $2 bills. But that's where the nickname started here. Thanks to Jeff Goodger, he saved me from Phil Balls with $2 Phil.
I love the $2 Phil name, to be honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
El Nino trying for front 6.
Oh.
Don't you care? Come on. We got a live stream we're trying to get people to get excited about Arturo.
Right. Thunder Chief wrapping the 10 there.
Yeah, there's some great nicknames. I mean, some of my favorite. I mean, just some of the people's names here are just epic. I love them. Like, Bass to Mouth might
Bass
be one
to
of my
Mouth,
favorite
yes.
nicknames for anyone in this place. It is
Yeah.
a phenomenal
Butter
nickname.
basted filet.
Butter basted
Yeah.
filet is another one.
She actually won. Well, Bastamouth and Butter Basted Filet won the new Bopo Name of the Year.
There you go.
The
Yeah.
last 2 years.
That was great.
We had a Friday night traveling league in Milwaukee years ago. We used to go to different centers, obviously, traveling league. Every Friday night, we'd bowl on all kinds. We'd bowl in these small shithole centers just because it was the only place. It was
Right.
second,
Yeah, yeah.
second shift. And so, but our scores were in the local bowling newspaper. We paid $2 a guy a year to have the scores in there. And I just wanted a really unique team name.
Yeah.
And I'm like going, what the hell can we call it? So I came up with Harry Taint's Beef Curtain Cleaners. Now it made
Sounds like one of our team names.
Harry Taint would be a great Bopo name.
That's a
Yes.
great Bopo name.
Would be a great
Absolutely.
Bopo name, Harry Taint. But the first issue it went in the paper in September was Harry Taint's Beef Curtain Cleaners. When it came back the next month in October, it was abbreviated HT
Right.
BCC.
That's kind of
Come
like
on
our.
now.
We had a team called Shank in the Two Hole.
Because her nickname was Shank, one of the girl on our
and
team.
she bowled second, right?
Yeah.
And the house refused to put our team name on the league
thing.
sheet
They wouldn't
every
put it
week.
on the league sheet.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh my God.
Listen, I've had
Come on
I've had
now.
worse teams names than that, though. I mean, we had a team name that was brought up 24 weeks in the league.
Yeah.
That guy brought it up and said, "I find that offensive." And our league secretary was great. He's like, and the league president was like, "It took you 24 weeks to find it offensive.
Right.
I'm not making him change it now." And
Yeah.
that was our team name was the Bukaki Boys.
There you go.
We had the shirt. The shirts were epic. You know, it was just awesome. But he's like, "Nope, took you 24 weeks." And our league president was like 75 years old. And so I was like, Bob, do you know what that means? He goes, I'm old, I'm not dead. He goes,
I've been in Japan 7 times.
ooh,
Yeah,
caved it in
that's-
for Jamaican jerk there on lane 7.
Going
Attaboy, still
to
striking.
adult entertainment stores in Japan is a pretty unique experience. And I'll just leave it at that for the moment. We'll save some of that for later on today.
I think it's, yeah.
Well, they got to, they blur out certain things, so they make out blurring certain things. They show other things, and yeah, it's just so weird.
Yeah.
I've never been in it, but I got to admit, in Osaka, I was in a 7-story tall adult entertainment store.
Really? Wow.
It wasn't big side to side, but up and down. It was, it's the up and down that counts,
Right.
not the side
Yeah.
to side.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but yeah, it was 7 stories tall, but there was maybe 300 square feet on each floor. It was maybe like 15 by 20 each floor.
Yeah.
But you had to go like up.
Plenty
another-
of girth.
Yeah, plenty of just enough girth. You don't want plenty of girth.
Right.
So it was just enough girth, but plenty of length.
Yeah.
And
there you go.
but yeah, when you got to get the really good DVDs, you got to go up to the 7th floor. And when you're old and fat, you got to start grabbing. Need the stair rail help. And then
Yeah. They don't have elevators. There,
Right.
Yeah.
not for that, no. And then
It's
when
hard
you're
to make them out of paper.
yeah, and then when you're 6 foot tall and 230 pounds like I was back at the time, you're walking in these stores and you've got everybody by 5-6 inches tall and 80, 90 pounds at a minimum. What's this gargantuan white guy doing here? Kind of thing.
It's Godzilla.
You get some looks.
Right.
You get more looks than going to your American. I mean, you go to an American adult store and nobody
Right.
gives you looks. They're like staring at you like, what's this guy taking off the wall? What's going on?
Boy, Evan Throw does not get cheated, does he?
No, he does not. He
I'm
puts
a
it
big
all in
fan of the
everyone.
ditch spare 6-bagger, though.
That's Bucky, isn't it?
I
Is he
thought
named
that
Eddie
was
Vedder?
Evan.
Is that why it's
Oh, that was
even
Evan?
throw?
Yeah.
Oh,
Even throw, is he named Eddie Vedder? I
He
mean,
should be, yeah, right.
yeah. Evan was a good youth player from New England here, and he went on to bowl in college at Muskingum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bucky, who's up on lane 6, he bowled at college too. I think he bowled a year
Yeah.
at. Oh boy, now it's escaping me which program it was. I think it was might have been Vincennes, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, kind of a scary trend this year with several schools. I mean, a big name school, UT Southern and Bob Learn.
I can't believe that.
That
yeah.
one closed down. And there's several other programs that, some were surprising. Some you kind of go,
Upper
the
Iowa
schools
wasn't
having
surprising
problem.
for me, but
Well, yeah, I'm an alumni from there, but that was a satellite program. I
Yeah.
never bowled there or anything
Yeah.
like that. But that was just one where they've overgrown so much off campus that they
Right.
can't support the stuff on campus.
Right.
They're doing great off campus, but on campus it's like, yeah. So
But Bob Learn's program winning the title.
Oh, I know.
that was a
crazy.
shock.
Yeah.
That was a shock for sure.
yeah, that's just insane. So hopefully that.
And then you got a
couple
big
colleges-
move with the O'Keefe's leaving McKendree to
Yeah,
go
you know,
start
they-
up that new program.
Jackson-
I want to
State,
say that
yeah.
they got I'm guessing a pretty good opportunity there. That school got into
Well-
Conference USA, right? I'm guessing
Right.
that's why.
So Brian
Right.
actually
Well,
got AD for the school. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean,
So Title IX on top of it. They gotta
Yep.
get a little more Title. It's an easy way to get Title. It really is an easy way to get Title IX numbers.
Yep.
So, and with the transfer portal, the way the NCAA is,
It's
it's
such
not
a
just football and
fucking Gutter
basketball.
Boy is
Right.
whacking it on 7 and 8 right
Telling
now.
you,
Yeah,
it's
he's got
a
a chance for
confidence thing on
280.
that pair. He
Shit.
when he gets on that pair, I know he's probably going to throw a good number. Ian he's bailing it out. He went to the purple, shocker, lefty with a purple on lane 4.
How's Sed doing? Is Sed down there?
Yeah, so Sed's going up in the 10th right now. He can still shoot 2-0. He's trying to bail it out. He's trying to pull a Frankie game, go back 5 to get to 2-0. I like his game. He throws
Bob
it good.
Farr put a message in the Facebook that said I was going to bowl, but I figured it was just easier to Venmo Joe and save myself the bar tab.
Yeah, well, I don't blame him there.
Have you-
I'm not sure Joe's the shoe-in
Oh,
for
sorry.
this one, though. There's some good competition out here.
All right, here we go.
Oh, a little high for an 269, it looks like? 250?
Yeah.
Yeah, 269.
69.
Nice.
Hell of a
Nice.
game.
If he makes it. He should make it. 3-pin. Tony Bennett here. He's so I love Tony. He's on lane 5, just struck. Now he's got a 4-bagger going. Him and his daughter do roller coasters, and they've been to hundreds, and they have a
Okay.
notebook they keep. And I love it because I'm friends with them on Facebook, and I see all the time when they go to different places. And that's such a cool bonding thing for a father and daughter to do,
Yeah.
It's awesome. So it's really cool. My daughter and I like to go to like Halloween Horror Nights at like Universal together. So that's like our thing.
That's amazing. Yeah.
But yeah, really cool, nice guy. And I mean, there's so many nice people. I mean, the guys that come from out of state, Tony's from Southern New England. A lot of the guys come up here and choose to bowl our events because they're on hard patterns. They know most of the time when you bowl our stuff up here, it's always going to be on sport. So a 200 game usually means something. You know,
Right.
it's not like you have to average 250 at some of the other events just to make the cut. You know, I've been at events before where I've averaged 240 and missed a cut. So that's not fun.
Just taking a peek in on 17 and 18. Not a lot of scores coming out that pair right now. I see 188 as a high.
Yeah, that's and that's what happens. You know, it's you get to that side of the house, and if you have to change your complete mindset, right? You have to. I used completely different equipment on this side than I used on that side, and even on that side, I probably could have tried something even different.
Yeah,
so.
let's peek in on 11 and 12 since
okay.
we're not done yet. And it's
Oh wow, yeah.
We got. We're gonna have. Well, the lefty here.
193.
Yeah, maybe 210.
Yeah,
We got
might get there.
maybe. So we're gonna have one bowler on the whole pair shoot deuce.
Yeah.
And that's pretty brutal. I mean but that's how that side can be. I mean that's where I started, and I'm kind of curious how he's playing him here on the fill ball.
Yeah, 254 on 13 out of somebody, 232, 225, and that's it. So out of 12 guys, 3 200 games in game 2.
Yep.
Yeah, and you have some good bowlers over there.
That was a great shot by Bucky
because
there.
Splinter's bowling with John Wilbur over there, and so.
Well, I've seen if Hungus is one of those 200s, because if Hungus did well over there, if he can shake off the game he had on 5, he was somewhere 5-8 game 2 this morning. If he can shake that off, my goodness, he could. Hungus could help get himself into tomorrow.
Yeah, you look
even though the tournament's named after him, he's not giving anybody any breathing room if he doesn't have to.
Oh yeah, he wants it just as bad as anyone else.
Right.
You know, this is basically your biggest kind of amateur first place prize for a singles event, really in New England, and. Because it kind of got born out of, like, I always run a match play tournament in the summer, 64-player field, $100, $2,000 on top. And so that grew out of a $1,500 one I used to run. Then we got to 2,000s, and Hungus and I were talking. He's like, I wonder if we can keep the chill vibe here but still get something that's, like, really big money. And I said, why not? Let's try it. Let's do it. And so that's kind of how the 8K got born out of that. And it was so much fun last year. Obviously, great this year already.
I'm surprised more PBA guys. Regional guys aren't here because they had nothing to bowl this weekend for the regional guys.
Right,
so, I mean, Joey Pants is here. There's a couple other guys I've seen. But, I really thought there'd be more of them. So
I mean, $250 entry for an 8K payout.
Right.
My future son-in-law was supposed to be here, but he was traveling with because AJ Chapman engaged to my daughter.
You dropped the name. You want to pick that up? It fell to your left.
Yeah. So
right out of your pocket.
So, but they tried. A lot of the guys travel together. So I know, like, Anthony was going back, had to go back home. I think he's having surgery or something. So they all were traveling together, and I get that. So he was kind of bummed, but he's coming up here in a couple weeks. But,
Anthony was bowling all season with an inner ear problem or something like that. How do you keep to bowl at that level with a balance issue?
That's impressive.
And still cash some checks. There's some guys out there that didn't cash checks at all.
And I really hope, like, Sean had a good year out there. Pretty solid season. I'd like to see him kind of get a spot on the league this year. I think he's kind of earned it, and it'd be nice to get AJ in there again.
Right.
And
So lane 5 right now, we got Gutter Spare in the next bunch.
I love it.
I've only seen 290 shot that way once in my life.
That's called the Gentleman's 300, by the way, if you get it. So, and no dark cloud there. He's got the 8-bagger going into the 10th. So
there we go. We'll stick with this pair till.
I think he's using a TNT. I'm pretty sure that's what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, Evan gets all of it.
Yeah.
He definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely it.
He's got the ball speed. He's got the routes, and he's
Tony
got his thumb
Bennett.
in the ball.
Right.
It's amazing how drilling science has changed in 30 years, where it's gone from stretched grips and gripping and ripping. All of a sudden, guys started realizing, holy crap, the shorter my span is and the softer I can keep it, the quicker I can clear my thumb than with a stretch grip, and I can really get into it with my fingers. It's like, oh yeah, and then just get the yo-yo release to go with it, and boom.
Like one of my mentors, Mo Pinnell, obviously, rest in peace, Mo. Talked to Mo quite a bit over the years, and he used to say, "Pet the kitty." Pet the kitty, be nice to it, you know, and don't try to. And the drilling science has changed so much, and I'll tell you, there's so much more onus on the ball drillers now that you can't just throw a weight hole somewhere to make the ball shape differently with the weight hole, rule.
Yeah.
And so, right out of the gate, you better know your players, access points, their tilt, their rotation, like we do, obviously here at Bowler Builders. Both of us work there.
Yeah.
Jimmy, obviously Clark, owns the shop. So you really, you can always change the front to back with the surface, but, the motion off the spot is, with the layout. So.
But
I find it to be a little bit easier, though,
it
because
is.
we can do layout, like pretty much any layout you want nowadays, and especially with the dot technology, we're a Brunswick shop. So, that we don't have to worry about the pins on a lot of our equipment.
Right.
And, it
half it
really
out, no matter.
allows us to kind of hone in what we want the block to do on which part of the lane for that bowler, And I think it's great. I think the rules are great. However, I don't know if you saw this, Phil, but Teen Masters is switching up their rules for drilling once again. So Teen Master, because my daughter's
Gary
bowling.
Beck apparently had to sell a few more bowling balls to keep him in production.
Right, and
Probably.
a lot of players probably already have their 3.02s drilled. Like my daughter's is already drilled for this season, and then they kind of like midstream are trying to change the rules again for drilling. But what I found first was strange is there's a no way hole rule just like USBC,
Right.
but it's not the 3 ounce rule; it's a
1
1
ounce
ounce rule,
Right.
with no way hole. However, they just changed it, and now you can actually have a thumb hole in a ball, but not your thumb in it as long as your palm is over the hole, which is
That makes no sense to me.
Zero
Because
sense.
I mean, what's the difference?
That's a weight
really?
hole.
That's a weight hole.
It's a
You're
weight
not.
hole.
So,
So,
yeah,
but
none of that. I mean, some of that stuff
they
with
only
the Team
allow you to
Masters
bring
rules,
one
I'm not
ball.
a big fan of. So.
And I think the rule is born out of these bowlers that bowl bowl like just with your fingers for your strike and then put your thumb in for your spare. It's got to be born from that because they're only allowing you to bring one ball.
Right.
You can bring 2 to practice,
Yeah.
but the
People
only way you
checking
can
one.
use that second ball after you start is if your first ball gets damaged by the house.
Right.
I used to believe in a lot of stuff Gary was doing a decade ago. Still, I've become fully disenfranchised with that man, and it
Well-
has its place in the sport. But the way it's consistently, like you said, you can't do that crap last minute. You can't do it
Right.
when kids already have bought their stuff and all that.
Yeah, because
It's-
those balls are not
And if-
cheap.
No.
If you're
I
telling me a
work in the-
two-hander can have a thumb hole in a ball, then why
Right.
can't someone who puts their thumb in it have a weight hole?
Right.
Right,
mean-
exactly.
If it's right next door to it, why not?
Right.
Yeah.
Or you can actually, I guess you could put a second one if it's in the palm. I guess if it's covered by the palm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I found it to be very odd. And, I understand trying to level the playing field with the equipment, thinking that equipment is what makes the scoring pace. The
Right.
lane man is what makes the scoring pace,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. If you limit them to one ball and all using the same ball, yeah, that's kind of neat because you get to see, yes, release, how you throw the ball definitely makes a difference. But
Right.
changing the rules midstream like that, when you know a lot of these players have already drilled up their balls to practice with
Yeah.
them for this year's Teen Masters,
Yeah.
and I know he does a lot for the youth. I just don't agree with changing the rules partway through.
Yeah, and like I said, I can throw the term allegedly around quite a few times, but I have a couple of solid things where it's just like it's the right idea, but either he's got to get out of it and let somebody else do it, or it's something's really going to come out sometime, and it's just going to just torpedo that whole damn thing.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. So which really is, but
If you're going to have the rule about the equipment, but like they have to be under a certain differential and this and that, then all you have to do is have a list of balls that qualify. Why are you limiting it to they have to buy the balls from you
Right.
at that point?
Yeah.
And,
Well-
to me, I've never agreed with that either.
I'm
so.
sure. Like I said, this is just my own opinion. So, Gary, if you're listening, or somebody tells him, sue me, whatever. I just think he needs to sell a certain number of balls to keep that ball in production with companies because he's jumped from company to company
Right.
to get that ball made. And I
Right.
bet you that's probably part of it. So all of a sudden, oh crap, I got to sell more balls. What do? Oh, let's do this.
Change the rule, yeah.
Right.
So
I'd love to see where entries are at right now compared to past years, but you never see that come out until a week beforehand.
right.
You never
Well-
see the results once it's done.
Right, I know, and it's I remember back when my daughter bowled it years ago, a long time ago. She had to do through qualification. There was no direct entry. There was none of that.
Yeah.
And I remember he had kind of made comments about junior gold, like, well, you can basically you run so many of them, you can just direct entry it, basically, like kind of knocking on it. And we're a qualified only event. But then that went to oh, direct entry's now open, and it's
Right.
like, wait a minute, what happened to
Yeah.
the stance on qualifying? So it
Right.
kind of changes, because entries were probably down, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So then you can go to direct entry at that point, but then why even run qualifiers if you're just going to
Yeah.
do direct entry?
And
So.
Junior Gold, when it first started, was supposed to highlight the best of the best.
Then I agree with that. See, my idea with that was always, it's a big cash grab for USBC at this point.
Yeah.
There's kids like, to me, what you could do is you have your local qualifiers, which would qualify you for a regional. Then you have maybe 5 or 6 regions around the country, and then the ones that qualify from there would go to the National Junior
Did
Gold
you read
Tournament.
my column in Wisconsin Bowling News in 2015? It's
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 basically the same
exactly
thing.
it.
Yeah,
It's exactly
yeah.
it.
So to me,
So-
that would make way more sense.
Well, and
if
they could
drop
prob-
the
and
average
honestly,
verification.
they could probably make way more money because all of a sudden you say you're sending 250 kids to a city for a weekend, and you get because they're getting money from all the visitors bureaus and
Absolutely.
stuff like
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
I mean, that's where they're making their money on top of it. Do that for 10 cities at 250 kids a pop or 300 kids a pop instead of one city for 4,000. I bet you make more money doing it that way.
Oh, I agree. And
And
the
it's
kids
a little
still
more
get the experience.
Well, because you can get it done in a weekend. Mom and Dad can show up. You bowl the first
Right.
squad Friday. You can bowl 20 games in a weekend.
Yep.
5 Friday night, 5 and 5 Saturday, 5 Sunday morning. They're home by Sunday night. They're back in school on Monday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
if you the article you wrote, send me a link to it, because I'll definitely.
I gotta
share
find
it.
it. Well, the
Yeah, when you get around to it.
I
not a big
gotta
deal,
find the
so.
paper copy of it. Yeah. So
I would
it was-
definitely like to share
once
that
again,
information.
another way I didn't make friends. I haven't had any friends at USBC headquarters in quite a while. So.
Well, you'll fit right in.
But there's stories I can tell too. Where it's
I'm-
kind of like I keep my mouth shut, and they don't cause me
Well,
problems. So.
There you go. So I'm going to go downstairs. I'm ready for another beverage.
I
How
can
are
go
you?
for another one. Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
perfect. So
I
I'm going to
appreciate
run
that.
downstairs. I'll be
All
back
right.
in a few minutes.
All right, we'll get your slider yanked down here. There he goes, Frankie Abralon. Man who helps put all this great tournament action together here for the Hungus 8K. He's got the missus
Yeah,
running things downstairs. And, of course, we got Ding Dong here who helps out with getting us on the air and getting us going and keeping us going. And let's
see what
get a pop.
Evan. Jeez.
Whoops, not your fault for 290.
Right.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry,
no,
no, he had a spare
280.
for, okay, 269. Yeah,
269. Yeah.
Just about that.
So yeah.
Damn,
hey,
I wanted that gentleman's perfect game.
I know, right?
So
One of the things that I found really strange about Teen Masters too, Phil, was like the amount of control, because like we got not a timeshare but an Airbnb.
Okay.
But if you don't stay in their like one of their hotels,
Yeah.
we had to pay like a fee
Right.
for staying in just our own place that we wanted to stay in.
yeah,
Like that seems like a little bit of overreach.
right.
In my opinion.
But he's got, once again, it's another one of those things where he's got money kicking back from the hotels for stays there.
yeah.
So he knows what he's making. If you don't stay there, then, well,
He's still
probably
making the money, yeah.
He's still making the money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's, and I understand. Everybody's got expenses and stuff. I mean, Charlie, I have expenses. Charlie's paying him for me to be out here this week. It's a matter of who you're going to get to pay him. And, he's just got to find a way to pay the bills, apparently. I don't, you never see financials on this stuff. And, it's just one of those things where it's a great program. It could be run a lot better, but until people stop showing up and saying what a great thing is, I was kind of surprised that the PBA is doing that skill ball thing with him again this year, because they hadn't done anything with him for several years. And now they're back in it again. So something's changed where, the relationship's back.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that's one of the best parts of it, because that's going to get a few more eyeballs on it.
Yeah.
And, let's be quite honest. The kids are bowling Junior Gold and bowling Teen Masters to get eyeballs on them of
Right.
college coaches and trying to be out there for these opportunities. So getting the PBA guys in there, I think it's just going to increase that viewership of the entire thing.
Yeah.
So that way, maybe a few extra players that might not get drafted might get drafted by college coaches. I know that right now, especially if you're a female, it's a pretty good chance that you can get on a team at the collegiate level.
If you're
right
a
now.
female averaging 190 on house and you
Oh,
have a good
you're in.
spare game,
Yeah.
you're in at least a D2 or NAIAD one, because there's different
Yep.
levels for NAI too.
I agree.
And you're not at full ride, but you're going to be pretty darn close. And if you have good academics to go with it, they'll find a way to get you there and keep the expenses minimal for mom and dad.
Yeah, absolutely.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, so the opportunity is definitely there. And, you know, to be quite honest, Phil, that's why I coached the high school team.
Yeah.
This year, I had a student who would have been my fourth collegiate bowler going to bowl on scholarship in college. We have a thing here in Maine because of COVID. They're offering the local schools at no cost, no tuition to certain years of graduates of high school. And he's choosing to go that route. I can't blame him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, hey, you know, going with no tuition, if
Right.
the state's going to offer it, take
Yeah.
advantage of
Oh,
that
absolutely.
because, you know, there is definitely cost in when you go to these other schools and bowl. They're, you know, they're private schools, so there is cost involved.
Right.
And especially the first couple of years, you know, in college, if you can save that money, that's huge.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm the coach that I'm going to support you either way. You know, I give you the opportunity. If you want to take it, great. If you have better opportunity or you're going to go someplace else, as long as you're happy, I'm going to back you up.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so, you know, I can't blame him for not going to bowl. He's going to take advantage of that free tuition.
Right.
And, you know, I'm sure he's going to make something out of it.
Well,
He's
he
a
could have
really
bowled-
great kid.
You could have bowled, you know, you can bowl something like this on the weekends. I mean,
And that's the
college
other
bowling,
side of it.
College bowling isn't for everybody. I mean, if you remember back in the day, Cameron Doyle was like the hot name,
Yep.
youth bowler, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
7, 8 years ago. And unfortunately, you know, his PBA career really hasn't gotten off the ground a ton. But he bowled 1 year at Wichita State and decided it's not for me.
Yeah.
Justin Bone
Yep.
bowled a year at Wichita State and decided college bowling is not for me. There's a lot more kids I'm seeing nowadays. Eric Jones was a young man. Who's
Eric
18
Jones
years
rolls
old.
it great. I love
And he
watching him bowl.
And he had a rough. I mean, that's one of the kids that got squat on tour. Got a big goose egg
yeah.
for his year on tour, even though he got out of some PTQs and stuff like that. And it's a learning experience because that game on tour is entirely different than what he would have seen in college. Because you don't see even the college kids coming out and all of a sudden, they're making their mark and that kind of thing. It's a year 2, 3 grinding on those PTQs before they start. Oh, this is the transition this way instead of this way, and all that on the tours. So
Yeah.
and you're starting to see more kids kind of look at college and go, okay, school, great. Do they even have bowling? I've seen some kids that have just gone, I can bowl whatever I want when I want.
Yep.
They're still going to college, but they're not being part of the team. Nate Purchase, who was on the first year of the PBA Junior telecast.
Yep.
Team Shimmy, 1 year at college, wasn't for him. Waited till the first of the year this year, got his PBA card.
Yep.
Still going to college at UW Whitewater, just
Yes,
not
he is.
part of
Yep.
college bowling.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's a lot of that out there. So it's nice that, you know, you're a coach because too many of them pigeonhole and college. Okay, you can still go to college, not bowl a collegiate program. You can go into the trades, bowl any tournament you want on the weekends, that kind of thing.
Yep.
So it's there's so many coaches that pigeonhole these kids. They just want to grab the coaches by the neck and go, it isn't just about rolling the ball in college. There's so much more to go
No,
for.
definitely not. And,
Yeah.
you know, like each individual is definitely just that, an
Yeah.
individual. And that's, you know, I feel you have to coach them to that way,
Yeah.
coach that individual to their strengths. And if their strength is not looking at college, then why would you even try to
That's
offer
a
that
beautiful thing.
when you know it's probably not going to be in their best interest,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So definitely best interest is what I would be looking for each one of my players, for
So
sure.
Frankie Abralon back in the booth. We were just talking high school bowling. Now, is high school bowling in Maine part of the athletic association?
It
or
is
it
not.
unofficial, so it's like a club sport type
It
thing?
is, yeah. And
Yep.
unfortunately, we fund all of ourselves. The school department does not help us for the most part. There's
Right.
like a couple schools here in the state that do actually sponsor it, but
Okay.
like our team, we're a consolidated team. The few other teams that are like that,
Yeah.
kids from a bunch of different schools, we're all self-funded. We usually do like ball raffles and things like that in order to fundraise and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Wisconsin's the same way. It's been club. It started off back in the mid '90s in Wisconsin, and it was the centers that sponsored the teams. But it was all kids that had to be in high school and in certain ranges of the bowling centers, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it became the schools' names were on it, even though the bowling centers are still running it. And they do the same thing. You got some of the schools are too small, and they have to co-op between different schools and get enough kids for a team, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And it's a club program. It's it's a good solid program. There's 13 different districts around the state, and they kind of all have the same format. Some are a little different here and there. There's a lot of good kids that come out of the high school programs. It's just a matter of their state finals are just kind of, you work all year, you get the state, and then you get 15 Baker games to decide whether or not you make a step ladder for a state championship. Or if you're bowling singles, 3 games, cut 3 more, and then a step ladder. It's like you think for something that you've worked all year to get for, there'd be a little more involved. It doesn't have to be, nobody's asking for 20 games in a weekend or anything like that. But 6 games, you have 3 games, state tournament. You have a bad game, a couple of bad breaks, a couple pocket 7-10s, and you're out. You don't get a chance to. You're bowling Friday. You don't get a chance to bowl on Saturday. Or at least if the kids are all bowling 6 games, you get a chance, and then cut again and get 9 or 12. I mean, down in Illinois, they bowl 12 full team games to make their state champions. I mean, whether it was 60 Baker games even or that kind of thing. At least there's a little more competition where it's not just, I had the right ball in my hand at the right time and I carried it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that I've had against Wisconsin bowling in high school for a while, and I've voiced my opinion more than once on that. Overall, it's a really solid program. It has been for years. So
yeah. So we don't have a huge program here in Maine. I think we're at 8 teams.
Okay,
is what we had this year. But what I've found over the years is that colleges don't really care that we don't have a huge program like out in Midwest. They just want to hear that we're out there doing it. They want to see that it's on the resume. They don't want to just see that the bowler is a league bowler. They want to see that they bowled league, that they bowled high school, that they bowl in these local tournaments, and that type of thing.
Exactly.
And so we're able to provide that at least. Through we do have a Maine State Travel Tournament League, and then a Maine State Junior Gold Tournament Series as well. And then we have this really great tournament series it's usually south of here in New England. They do come up to Bayside for an event called the DJBT. It's the Doughboy Junior Bowlers Tour. Doughboy Cup. I don't know how that came to be. Jeff Purchase, if he's in the comments, maybe could enlighten it a little bit. But Jeff Purchase, runs that tournament series. Amazing tournament series. And if you want to talk transparency, he shows you all the financials and that, and it's amazing. He does such a good job. He's, I do believe, helping out with the NEO right now, and just a phenomenal job.
I've seen Jeff at several of when Nate's bowled some PBA Midwest regionals. I've seen Jeff there too. I've had some nice conversations with him, and he's his son's a phenomenal bowler, but he wants everybody to enjoy the sport on top, and he does a great job with these events. We got Game 2 scores up.
There they are.
And are you sweating a little bit there, Frankie?
I'm sweating a lot because it's plus 82 just for the top 4. The top 10 is plus 47 right now.
Wow.
So it's a loaded squad. We got a lot of big numbers coming up. And look at Dave Simard liking the 1 through 8 side much better. I kind of called that after game 1, saying when he got over here, he'd start whacking them. So
look at El Nino, 536 for 2.
Yeah, shake it off.
But now he's on the old side.
True.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that translates. We got Hungus back on this side.
We do get Hungus here. How's Hungus bowling this squad so far?
He's on lane 4. Just made a
minus
spare.
12, I think. Or
minus 12. Okay.
Minus 7. He's just at a Jamaican jerk at minus 12.
That. Yeah, they're teammate. Where they're doubles partners.
They are.
So. I tell you, I had a great time. Hungus went out with our group of nationals this year. I got to bowl doubles and team with him, and we had such a good time. And playing blackjack with Hungus at a blackjack table is an experience all in itself. It's unbelievable.
He said he just found some electronic blackjack machine, put money in, just started making a side bet for the hell of it, and won $4,000.
He did, yeah. So we're getting ready to. There's a funny story for that. So we're getting ready to bowl Bowler's Journal. We have all of our equipment over there in the locker, and we're maybe 20 minutes, 15 minutes ready to start. And I'm like, Hungus, where you at? Are you almost here or whatever? He goes, hold on, I'm waiting for a hand pay. Yeah. And I was like, what? He sends me the screenshot from the video blackjack of $4,500. Wow. And he's like, yeah, I'll be there in a minute.
Yeah. I got some pressing business I need to take care of.
I was like, all right, that's fine.
Yeah, no kidding. You better keep really good records of your gambling the rest of the way on that trip. So yeah.
We're sitting there, and we all made some side bets and parlays on the sporting events while we're out there, because why wouldn't you?
Right.
So he put a bet that if the Celtics hit a game-winning shot at all during the playoffs, it was going to pay him $8,000.
Oh, wow.
And all during the playoffs. It had to be a buzzer beater, though.
Yeah.
So we're watching the Game 6 against the 76ers, and we're standing there, and Marcus Smart gets the ball, shoots it, bang, buzzer beater for the $8,000, and we're going freaking nuts, right?
Yeah.
And then they review it, and the ball was still on the tips of Smart's fingers. They wave it off. So Hungus lost $8,000 by like a tenth of a second.
How do you recover from that?
I know, right?
My goodness.
That was, you recovered by making money at the blackjack table.
I
That's
guess
how you
so.
recover.
Well,
But-
I mean, he still had a chance.
But
for
the
it to
thing is,
happen.
it's still happening. You're in the Eastern Conference Finals now. I know the Celtics aren't doing so good right now. They were down 0-2, but any buzzer beater the rest of the playoffs. So, I mean, it could
still
still
has a
happen.
chance.
Could
So,
still happen, yeah. Just sucks that it was
Oh, my
so
God. We were
close.
going crazy.
In the
like
tips of his
nuts.
hands.
I can imagine. All right. Take those scores down. We'll get you updated after
There's
Game
Hungus
3
right
is
there in
complete.
lane 3 for you guys at home.
Yes, he's up right now.
Yeah.
The commish.
He's wearing his lucky shirt. You said that shirt almost got him out of a bad spot.
Ooh.
Bad spot during the or during the King Shit tournament. Didn't get him all the way out of it.
I remember that.
He went from shooting
I
150
remember Hungus
to,
in the
to
King shit.
250.
That was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
You heard my suggestion before. Oh, you weren't here before. My suggestion.
What's that?
Because you get a brick for 300.
Yeah.
You get your banner for the bow post
Yep.
up. King shit and queen shit. It should be drawn on a stall in each of the respective restrooms. The names of the winners. Because you do have the cup and everything, but
Right. You put
I mean-
put little nameplates up there or
Right,
something
or
on the
whatever.
stall doors.
do it like graffiti. You gotta-
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that
Ding
idea.
Dong, Ding Dong said you got some great, artists around here that could do it like graffiti, and there
That's
you go.
a great idea.
That's where you get
Yeah.
the king shit and queen shit winners, right?
Yeah, and you
right on
can-
the stall.
Right
there.
on
Yeah.
the stall.
Have the champions sign it, too. Why not?
Yeah,
Beautiful.
there you go.
Exactly.
Yeah. It'd be like those benches that are donated
they're-
under someone's
Yeah.
name.
There may or may not be Frankie and Ding Dong stickers up on because in the
I saw
restrooms-
it. Yeah.
Did you see it up there?
I've seen it
Yeah.
up there. Yep. So, absolutely.
Oh, we got a spare 4-bagger here on lane 4.
Oh, well, we have
not
Medea.
sure.
Medea's going for a 4-bagger on lane 6 right now.
Let's get over there.
So let's do it.
Oh, that was wide. Oh, that peeled.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he doesn't. He was happy with that.
He does not get cheated.
I think he's
either.
using a Quantum
Oh shit!
Evo
Oh
Pearl.
good! Oh shit! Oh good!
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah. I had a few of those today.
Well, once again, with the lane leveling, guys that may have thought a ball would do something one way are not 100% sure now if that's going to happen. So
So Medea's actually using a Radical Trailblazer solid but polished.
I really need to start. I said I was talking before when you guys were bowling. I'm like, don't ask me ball names and stuff like that. People, I said I'm the play-by-play guy. I always have the color guy that knows all the
that's so
equipment and
good.
stuff like that.
Right.
Oh, we have a
It's-
front 6 watch on 7 and 8, by the way. We got
Yep.
that going right now.
Yeah, PBR 6-pack.
Yep, PBR 6-pack. Boy, there's some guys are throwing numbers on this side. This is a loaded squad.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we figured that the 11:30 squad would be more loaded than the morning squad.
Yeah.
And then, 2:30 is going to have a bunch of re-entries is what we're figuring. And you're probably going to have some big names re-entering. And after having 4 games of practice, if you will,
My initial thoughts, someone asked me earlier, and I can't remember who it was. It might have been Crazy Train. And he said, what do you think the cut number is going to be for the at-large? And I put it at plus 40, but that might be in jeopardy just from this squad.
Right.
yeah.
I mean, right now you got 15 guys at plus 21 or better from this squad.
But you got Joey Pants who just went over to the old side. I mean,
Yep.
there's several players that are in the plus 420 to 450 range
Right.
that just got done with their first 2 on this side and now are on the other side.
That's a great point.
Trying to put another another 50 over up on that side.
Yeah.
You might do it if you make your read right,
Right.
because it's definitely, as you guys both said, it reads earlier and it reads smoother. So
Right.
that ball that you had on this side that was hitting the pocket really nice, all of a sudden decides, oh, I'm going to plaque 10, or I'm barely going to get the head pin and bucket on you.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. The scoring pace does seem to be a little bit lower over there. But you still have, you still have some good players, too. So you never know.
Yeah. See, now, and I know it's impossible to do this because you have to have balanced numbers in every lane. But the guys and girls that re-enter for the last squad should have to bowl on all the opposite pairs they bowled on
Right.
before. But you can't. It's got to be a blind draw. You can't
Right.
do it because otherwise you're going to end up with. You could end
Right.
up with
You
seven
right.
bowlers on one pair and 2 on another. But
It's-
yeah,
And the good thing is we're stripping and re-oiling every squad,
Again,
so which is
yeah.
nice. And, it does make it – it does change it a little bit. The
yeah.
more you strip the lanes, the crisper those back ends get as the day goes on. You know how it is. I mean, they're going to be stripped 3 times today. So by third squad, you could definitely see some balls just flying off the back. That's $1 for Medea by coming. So if you step off the approach and you balk, that's $1, which means Sean Rash would owe $1 billion.
Yeah. We have all these rules on our team, the Beastie Bowlers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
all
that's
kinds
one
of
them.
rules. 5 pin is $1. If you miss it, it's $5.
An extra
5?
$5.
Yeah.
It's $1 to leave
That's-
it and an extra
that's way too
$5 to
cheap.
miss it.
So if you leave a lily pad, the 5, 7, 10, that's $20 if you leave it.
That's
But you
still
get
way
it back
too
if you make it.
Yeah.
I've seen that made.
If you leave
Was it with a
head pin,
6-pound
it's
house
$1.
ball?
No, it was at a PBA 50 event.
Really?
I forgot the gentleman's name. The first frame, game 1 of qualifying, A squad, 5, 7, 10, and he picked it up. Hit the 5 pin into the 7, like just in the front of it, and the 7 went straight back. 5 just came off the sideboard, rolled all the way across the deck, took the 10 out.
Really?
It's a
Wow.
beautiful thing.
That's awesome.
We didn't have coverage on extra frame on it at the time, but yeah, it was a beautiful thing. Jeff Rickles was on lane Whitney. He was on that pair when it happened.
So you don't need to know his name, Phil. His name is Lilypad
His
now.
name is Lilypad now, yeah. Last tournament I ever bowled, that's where I left to start my tournament. 5, 7, 10, and I knew it was time to hang it up.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a rough lead.
Not intentionally. It was just city tournament with my buddies.
Oh, that was a brutal 9-pin. Ian Fitzpatrick has such a good game. Him and I were talking first squad. He's like, I need to watch a lefty that knows what they're doing. And I'm like, why are you standing behind my lanes then?
that was odd on that 9-pin too, because it was almost like
It could have been a 7-9.
yeah,
almost.
it was the 7, but the 7 went out square.
Yeah.
And the 9 was just kind of like that flat 5-pin where it just kind of
Yeah. It goes
gets
right
out of the way.
Yeah, it was weird. You get that with urethane sometimes. That's kind of that urethane 9-pin where the ball stops like before the head pin and it just kind of rolls forward so fast. You kind of get those wonky hits.
Yeah.
But he's going to tell everyone he stoned it. I would.
Right.
Well, yeah.
See, that's what I like about Bayside with the high ceilings and stuff. You could have some fun tournaments at this side. You ever seen places that do the curtain tournaments now?
Yes.
Where they hang the
Yes.
curtains like the arrows. And
Yep.
I want to do one, except you do it instead of doing it where you can't even see the pins, because obviously with the cubic of scoring you can't tell.
Sure.
You either have to have somebody holler from up here, hey, you left this, or
Right.
Yeah.
But have it where you have like elevate a tarp and do it from like the arrows to like 40 feet, and then just have the ball come
Right.
on the other side of
Yeah.
the tarp, so you can
That'd
at
be
least
awesome.
see the pinfall. Yeah, it used to be perfect for it, because you can just string it across from side to side. You can just string it over the top. There's enough room with the runways.
Scotty Tuhati just stoned an 8-pin. Speaking of stones, that was stoned on lane 1. Medea was in. Wow, that held. Yeah, he knows he got away with it.
Yeah. He's good
He
to
got away
throw.
with it.
He's got 3 boards, and they all have arrows on them right now.
Is he
Yeah.
left-handed?
My goodness.
Just kidding.
There's one of our two-handers, Nate Clark, who we
Yep.
were talking about earlier.
His nickname's Griswold
Yes.
because he's a big fan of Christmas Vacation and National Lampoon's Vacation,
And his last name is Clark.
and his last name is Clark. So
It's
it
a
actually
beaut.
works out great.
It's a beaut, Clark.
Ooh, well, speaking of that urethane rolling
Wow.
forward thing,
Right,
that was
yeah.
almost a 5-10.
That's almost time to change, one would think.
Yeah, so if you're going to stay in urethane, that move would be like for a lefty. For us, we would go like 1-1, 2-2 left to try to get the ball to hit a little bit of friction and start up and square up a little bit higher. Or, like you said, get into a resin ball that's going to shape a little bit down lane. It really depends on the person, how comfortable they are with doing that. Because he's probably hitting some of his own transition at this point on that pair, and I don't know if there was any lefties ahead of him using urethane on that pair.
By the way, the pace of play you guys have on these tournaments is spectacular.
Yeah.
Get up and fire. 1 lane on either side of you. is
One
open.
lane. You don't need
Yeah.
more than one. If
Get
you
up
need more
and
than one, you
fire.
shouldn't be bowling. I mean, I
it's-
understand the
it's
pace
beautiful.
on other events. I get it, but
With
I
tour,
bowl
yeah,
it. But
with tour and stuff. But yeah,
right. But
Get
you
up
know,
and fire, man.
get up and bowl. 1 lane courtesy. If you need more than that, why are you here?
Yeah.
Well, let's face it. I mean, the
That's getting in the way
center's
of
going to
drinking
make
time.
money, though, too, you
Right.
know? So we got to get out of the way so
Yeah.
that way the open play, it's Saturday fucking night. We got a
Right.
big party coming on
I can't
here.
believe they're only like $35 an hour for open play on Saturday night. That's
Yeah.
insane. That's a great family deal.
Yep.
Get a couple hours with your family.
And if you're a league bowler, you get a much better rate than
Yeah,
that.
I'm
Actually,
sure.
so it's like $20 an hour for
Nice.
a lane. So
Beautiful. All right,
Yeah,
let's see what Hungus can do here. Hungus has got himself a 9-pin.
was that a
What
good
about
one? I didn't
4-pin,
see it. Was the
4-pin?
first one?
It was almost a 4. It was
Wow.
almost a 4-9. that he left. He got
All right.
the 9 out.
I love his animations. That's one thing I love about bowling with Hungus.
Yeah,
He's so animated every shot. We run our Frankie and Ding Dong Scotch on the Rocks doubles tournament, and him and Buck Ripcord won it. Ding Dong and I, we won it.
We've won it twice actually,
but the self-glossing at its finest, right? But when they won it, it was awesome because when Buck would throw a ball, Hungus is back there every single shot, going crazy. And I love the animation. I love the antics, and it's so much fun.
So you guys do a 1 ball.
We do.
that.
We did that on a low volume. We did it on a 7.8 mil pattern.
Okay.
And that was fun. And last year we did it on. What did we do on it last year? It was 15 mils, right? It was we kind of split the difference between the higher and lower.
Yeah.
Flat, obviously, pretty flat, 1.1.
Another fun one you could do here, since you got 20 lanes, around the world. Start on lane 1 and go all the way across the house, 1 frame on each lane. It'd be great because after you get done with 8, there you go. Yeah, and everybody finishes their 20th frame, the 10th frame on lane 20. That'd be a fun one to do here because it's so different once you get from one side of the house to the other.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't mind doing. I think a marathon event, 10-game event. You could do all 20 lanes.
Oh yeah.
That'd be kind of a nice tournament to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, some of these places like that Midnight Bowler Society thing in Missouri, where it's just the giant pot game. It's $1,000 entry fee, and it pays off every game.
Wow!
They just put this brutal shot out.
Yep.
I mean, nobody's getting out of there richer, but if you finish, if you win one of the games for 2 or 3 grand, and place on another game, you can have yourself a pretty nice evening.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't, your total score doesn't matter. You catch a hot game, catch a hot pair, and put a number on the board. This could be a fun place for that too.
Hungus was telling me he's going out to the LBC tournament there, the PBA one, and I said, "What are you bringing out for equipment?" He goes, "I'm just bringing 1 bag. Might even just be a 2-ball bag." I love it. No one does that anymore.
Bring something you make spares with. Oh, I hate people. I never showed up at league with more than 3 balls. That was it.
Well, Hungus
a lot of nights
doesn't
it was
use
fair.
ball either.
So when we bowl our sports shot stuff here, obviously it's a different animal. But I bowl one regular. We bowl the China Shot League on Wednesdays at the house across Portland, and I use that just for our new releases when I want to do ball videos and just trying new stuff. I don't even. It's a house shot. So I know I can hit the pocket with pretty much anything.
Right.
It's I'll just use new stuff and then I can write reviews about it and stuff because I don't. That's what I use it for.
Right.
So use 20 different balls during the season, and then. We got an update. Crazy Train telling me there's a front 8 on 15 and 16.
All right, let's get over there. Oh, yeah, there we go.
There it is. Is that? No, that's not Nino.
Oh, yeah, E. Okay.
So they would have started on
5 and 6,
5
right?
And 6,
yeah. So let's see. I can go to
you got your list. I know you.
I do.
You sent me a copy as well.
So they started on 5 and 6. Let's see who we got here. 6E. $11:30 squad by lane. Here we go. That would have been. Is that Paul Bajorski?
That's what I see.
Is that the lefty on that pair? I know who. I think I know who that lefty.
I don't have.
Who that is.
I don't have an F.
I don't have an F either.
Oh, sorry. He was a late minute addition.
Oh, okay.
The F was Tony White got in late.
Okay,
Tony
so
White.
Tony White would be F. Okay.
So there will be Paul Bajorski. I think
okay.
he's the lefty though. I think he's the. I kind of liked his game a lot.
Yeah.
Well, again, a lot of lefties in this.
I could be wrong. It could be the lefty. Could be.
Yeah, here's Dirty Lou, so that's the lineup that's right. Look at Dirty Lou letting it get out there.
The lefty could be Ed
Get
Roberts.
down.
Get out of there.
How do you take the 7-pin forward? That's
Dirty
that's a
Lou.
house trick.
That is.
Yeah, that's
house
banner
trick.
carry.
What's your locker number?
Banner carry.
Only in Bayside can you call someone jerk and it's not an insult because that's
he's
part of his name.
One of the first guys I met here.
He's awesome. He's one
Simon.
of again. So the hat, the donut hat right here.
Yeah.
That's his shop, KGB Glass. He makes blown glass stuff. He's an amazing artist.
If I didn't go the edible route, I'd probably have some of his stuff.
Oh
in it.
yes, you would.
So it was.
I loved his bags because he makes the glass donuts and they come in this little donut bag. And the bag says healthiest donut, only 1 carb. one carb.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Boy, that was a great spare by
I
Medea.
just would hate, like, if I'm, like, because I don't know the postal rules in Wisconsin, like, if he would get, like, you know, Tommy Chonged by sending something to Wisconsin.
Yep.
That whole there's a documentary out there. Now I'm forgetting the name of it. It's about for as long as Tommy was in prison, it's got to be 12 years ago, 13 years ago. Yeah, they just following the whole case, and he said that, you know, he knew that, you know, what can they really do about it? And all of a sudden they started saying, well, we're going to go after your kid and we're going to go after your wife. Once they said that we're going to go after his wife, that's when he just pled guilty and got it over and done with. Yeah, talk about, miscarriage of justice.
Oh, Griswold almost leaving at 8-10. Yeah, it is the lefty. I like his game. I was watching him when they were on 5 and 6, I believe, in game one.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, he throws a pretty good ball. And I don't believe he's using urethane. He wasn't earlier. He was shaping it pretty good with the resin, but he doesn't get cheated, that's for sure, at the bottom of his release. He throws a pretty good ball.
Yeah, we haven't seen him up at any of the local tournaments, really.
Nice and smooth there at the bottom. We dark cloud. Oh, an Abralon.
There we go.
There's an Abralon.
Half. We've got a half sighting.
Half loaf.
Half loaf. So, yeah, that's their spares named after me because in this building I've left it 1,000 times. We've probably made it 900.
What's the
the 2, 4, 6, 7, 10 is the Abralon.
2, 4. Okay, what's the one? What if you leave the 8 with it?
That's called a ding dong.
That's a ding dong. That's a ding dong.
The fork. I left the ding dong earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
How did you leave a ding dong with a
urethane?
Hammer?
Yeah, that's hard to do.
Oh, I left one of those back in the day with a black Phantom.
That's impressive.
Oh, wow. 1992, and I picked it up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That guy throws
well,
it good.
so the reason why that's the ding dong is because lane 6
Hey now, shooter. Oh.
So it has some panel separation in Lewiston.
Yeah.
So, and if you hit it, it's like literally you can see your ball jump. And anytime I move in, I would hit it. And I punched through the face enough during our seasonal league there that we got me making that spare on video like 4 times because that's how many times I left it. And I was like 75% on the year of picking it up.
Wow.
So,
Holy
that one's
cow.
the ding dong.
That's amazing.
The 4 through the face.
I think it's the only time I ever made that 4 and make it in my life was 30 years ago.
The guy bowling on lane 6, the lefty right there, he throws a pretty – he gives me Simonelli vibes a little bit with how he really kind of really ratchets it at the bottom of the swing and kind of – I wouldn't say cuts it off, but, boy, his rev rate's pretty good, and I can see when he gets lined up, I bet he can really throw some numbers up.
You ever seen Simonelli? You walk up to him and you look at his left arm and his right arm?
It's insane, yeah. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here, but he gives me a little bit of Simonelli vibes here on lane 6.
Tyler Perry.
Yeah, there's
really
the shove. He's
too,
more
on 5.
around it than Simi.
Yeah.
Simi's more up through
Up it, yeah.
But he's definitely the shovel down into it and then
Yeah.
the around it. Yeah, that's some Simonelli vibes right there.
233, good game there. Nice finish through the back 9 and 10.
So the big question is now, Frankie Abralon,
Yes, sir.
is that wallet getting a little itchy right now?
I'm already on that re-entry list. I'm getting in, so I'm already. I already pot committed to it. So. Last year that's what I did. So last year was funny. First squad I go like minus 80. Just couldn't, and I was in a lot. Actually, I had to have thumb surgery, which was pending going into the tournament. I was having some issues, so I said screw it. And so me and Kyle Troop, Kyle was here last year. We were doing shots and drinking and having a good time. And I'm like, I'm gonna bowl 230. He's like, good. I'm bowling 232. So we were on the same pair, and I can't even, I was drinking a lot. Just to get through the pain that I was dealing with. And ended up whacking him, going like plus 90 and getting a top 4 bye. And Kyle was like, you're going to make it. You're going to be our guy. Because Kyle struggled. He didn't even make the cut.
Yeah.
And which is insane.
I heard he fell out the last game.
He did. He was right there the whole time and just had a hard – we finished on 17 and 18, which can be a notorious tough pair for the righties before the lane leveling anyways.
Yeah.
17 18 was a tough pair for the righties.
Yeah.
15 and 16 for the lefties, which, by the way, 15 still a little tight. I got to let the bowling voodoo guys know.
Let's get back to the Bajors. Well, we were talking about that before, but you got to remember, it's lane wear has a lot to do with it.
Oh, yeah.
Too. So
100%.
If lefties were never playing out there before, that part of the
it's
surface,
still going to be the same.
It's gonna be fresh. So let's get back to Bajorski. You got the first one in the 10th.
All right, let's see if we can at least finish this off here.
Yeah, he definitely picked up. He had to be slow in the 9th frame because he picked up the speed in the 10th. Yeah, that's better
he's
too.
Getting around it pretty good. Oh, Welcome to lane 15. A lefty shooting that score on 15 and 16, I'm tipping my hat because that is a tough pair on the left. Lane 15 anyway.
So
16's pretty good.
Gets him a
16's
patch?
fine.
Okay.
I think so, yeah. Like the old Yaba patches. Remember the old, like, I
patches.
beat my coach or something, you know?
Yeah, Frankie and I have thrown around the idea of bringing back patches and having some
Why
Frankie
not?
and Ding Dong
That'd be
patches.
so much fun.
Timmy Mack, when Timmy Mack was repping on tour, we were in Shawnee one time, and a bowler who's going to remain unnamed, who was kind of out of the cut, but he was pissed off at the guy he was bowling with on the pair about something. I don't know if they were roomies at the time or whatever. The bowler came out, and he took on just lane 6. I think he just ran the ball in the parking lot for a while.
Yep.
And then didn't dust it off before he came. Yeah, and so that lane was just absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
And then like practice on it, and he didn't give a rat's butt.
Right.
So then Timmy Mack later on, I'm walking on to see Timmy. I go, "What's going on in this pair?" He told me what happened. He goes, "Hell, brother." He goes, "Anybody that shoots 200 on this pair the rest of the day should get a patch." And that's where the idea. That was like once again one of those 2015 things. Where it's always stuck with me about getting a patch. Just something when you do something really weird.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, even if it's just a little, a sticker. Get a sticker or something. Who cares?
So you know who's not happy about going back to the 11th or 18th side is going to be Dave Samard, who went plus 133 for 2 over here after going minus 18 game 1 over there.
Yeah.
So now he's got to finish over there.
Well,
but plus 133 after 2,
right.
You're okay.
Yeah.
It gives you a little wiggle room.
Little bumper. Yeah,
Right.
a little bumper.
So, I mean, even if he goes even, he's still sitting pretty good.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, because he's still sitting at, plus 115 right now going into game 4, so I like his chances. But really, it's those top 4 spots. That's what you're really looking at because that's a guarantee. You don't have to worry about at large.
I thought we had the 1-5. I was waiting for the cock and balls.
The cock and balls.
That's
No,
right,
we
the
needed.
cock and balls.
Yeah,
3 pins in the way.
Yeah, it's too bad.
3 pins in the way.
You hate to see it.
I got to remember that one. That could be a future PBA call.
Absolutely.
Just pull. Of course, you don't see the 1-5, 8-9,
8-9.
or something.
Right.
There was something EJ left. One of the rounds at the. He left the 1-5, 7, 8.
Yep. Okay, that's a weird one.
Yeah, I'm like goof around, checking the PBA stats here. Yeah, EJ Tackett, 0 for his career, hasn't ever left it.
Right.
Now he gets to make it, and he made it 1 for 1.
That's awesome.
He had another one later on in the event too. He didn't know how to shoot it. It was on the shark and it just hung.
Yep.
And he should have taken out the 6-9. It was like the 1.
That is crazy.
1, 2, 5. It was a 1, 2, 5, 7, 10. Yeah, 1, 2, 5, 7, 10. Like, how do I make it? Because if you shoot at it at a crossover like a washout, you're gonna leave the 5.
Right.
He's like standing there going, "How do I shoot this?" I'm like, "You're asking the wrong guy."
Right.
I'm like, "Get a lefty."
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
You shoot it any way you want, you're just gonna miss it.
Right.
That's the thing. Yeah.
So we have
get 4 and move on.
On 11 and 12, I'm glad we got this feed up because this really highlights that whole side-to-side comparison thing. So Tony Bennett goes plus 82 for his first 2. He's in the top 4. He's in a cut spot.
Yeah.
He's B right now, and he can strike out for 194. Now that's a tall order. You got to get the last 4, and he's pacing at 160 right now.
Yeah.
So
there we go.
Although
that's
you have,
what can happen.
This bowler F coming up, that's.
Oh, he just left the.
That's Evan.
That's Evan. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Evan's whacking.
So look at El Nino. I mean, El Nino 180 in the 100 in the 7th.
Yeah.
If he opens here, I mean, hopefully he spares it, but that would be 109, 108. I mean, again, 160, even or worse.
After going crazy.
Hey, leave my table alone. Damn it, kids. It's in a bad. It's kind of weird. It's the only bad spot in Bopo to try to put up.
Yeah, that right between. Yeah, that's tough.
And I can't put it in the main walkway because people hit it, and I got to put it in the handicap ramp down.
Yep.
So it's like, hey kids,
don't touch that.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah,
that's right.
Well,
so that's Evan's throw right there. So he's going to go back to back. He's got a chance to go back to back. Well, even better than 260. He's got 279.
Yeah, he's throwing it great right now.
Split the house with plus 130.
Oh,
you may as well write your ticket for Sunday then.
So the best that El Nino can do right now is 169. Let's pace him out at 149. All of a sudden, you take 51 off. All of a sudden, he's in the plus 80s.
And he needs to,
And you got to show up game 4. Pretty good.
Especially with the way the pace is going.
It's and I'll be interested to see how that pace continues for game 4. Right. So,
Well, you can't blame it on the right because Evan's having no problem over there.
Yeah.
But again, it's a totally different ball reaction on that
Right.
side. It's just
True.
it's so much closer to you. And with the urethane, like I found I had to loft, like a little more loft on that side looked better, just to basically try to mimic what you see on the 1 through 8 side with the SPLs compared to the HPLs, and a lot more. You have, 3 or 4 more years, actually, 5 more years worth of wear on those lanes on the right side than you do over here.
2010 is when
Yeah.
that side opened.
Right. So that's that's a lot of bowling balls going down the lane.
You got to give it to Evan, though.
Smile, boys. Let's get a picture here. All right.
Right on. Absolutely.
There we go.
We love all the social stuff. Let's do it.
That's right.
Yeah, this is really great
Oh.
that we have you here.
Oh, I'm glad to
Phil.
be. Like I said, man. As soon as Charlie contacted me, and I go, I'm definitely interested. And he goes, hey, Frankie and Ding Dong, let's do it, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's
We're totally in.
do this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because like I said, I think we talked about 8 seconds.
Yeah.
It was about 5 text messages total.
Like, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's absolutely do it because this is the fun part, man.
Anytime you can grow the sport and have fun doing it,
Right.
it's a win-win.
Oh, absolutely. And people that are tuning in are able to watch good bowling, and people that want to follow just their friend, their family member, whatever, are able to do it. It's like Bowl TV without paying $120 a year to get whatever you get.
Yep.
So.
Exactly. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I'm wondering that partnership, like PBA and them, like everyone has, it's an all-encompassing thing right now. I wonder how long, is that just for a year, or is that like an all-encompassing thing from longer?
And from what I've heard nothing officially.
Right.
It is a year.
Okay.
It's no different than last year when Flow Bowling said they weren't going to cover the senior tour, and
Right.
it sent the PBA kind of scrambling. And I know what was going on behind the scenes, and I can't say anything about
Right.
it. But did it surprise me that Bowl TV stepped up and did it? No.
Right.
Honestly, no. They weren't
Right.
going to let that go away. Did it surprise me how they did it? Yeah, a little bit.
Sure.
But it ended up being pretty decent last.
Yeah.
So, and I was kind of hoping for the same thing this year with
Yeah.
the PBA, and it's been a little hit and miss here and there.
Yeah. for sure. I agree with that.
Talking as a bowling fan, not
Yep.
as a live streamer.
Right.
It's been times where I kind of go,
Right.
So, and especially when I look at an event like we did with the Holler House event. Mm-hmm. Where it's just me and Jeff Goodger, man, and we put all this stuff together,
Yep.
and we have what's basically a stepladder match, a stepladder final, and you could see the bowlers in the front, the back, and the side, and replays and all
Absolutely.
this other stuff. Why can't I get that when I'm watching Bowl TV?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Mallory Clark last week, watching her on Bowl TV for the regional.
Yep.
Emil Williams does a phenomenal job behind. Any chance I get to work with Emil, man?
Yeah.
I just sit there. I'd be in awe because his voice, his knowledge of the game, and everything's really good. He's a phenomenal play-by-play guy.
Yep.
He knows enough about the sport. He could probably do color, but that's not his strength.
Right.
You probably do color commentary, not his strength, but he does it so well. But then you give him you got this great voice for the PWBA, and you give him visuals that a high schooler could do.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating as a fan because I'd love to see a replay that wasn't the same fucking shot that it was
agree.
that it just was. I mean, could I do replays right now? I could, but then my system gets. If I'm trying to do 6 pairs
Right.
of replays,
Right. That's
that's just my comfort level. I feel like I just would screw something up and people would see the wrong pair of lanes and all the other stuff. This is still a work in progress a little bit here. But to cover all these lanes during qualifying, fine. Tomorrow, we'll have the camera. I got my wife here. She's going to run a camera so you see the bowlers' faces and the form from the front, the side.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're absolutely going to do that. I mean, shit, we got this. I'm going to take the logo off for a second here, but here we go.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There we
Right.
go.
Cool view.
Hold on.
The Mez view.
Yeah.
Where the hell
For
is
all the guys that have
there's the
not been
logos.
to Bayside Bowl, this
Yeah.
is the view from the mezzanine.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Just below the rooftop lounge here on the second floor. Have you been to the rooftop, Phil?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There was one night we came out here, the rooftop opened in 17, if I remember correctly.
That
the
sounds
roof
right.
area.
Yep.
And my wife and I came out here on vacation, just to hang out on vacation. Didn't tell Charlie till we got out here. We just came out on vacation. And we got out here on a Thursday night, rainy Thursday night, and the rooftop's going to be closed. I told Charlie goes, stop by anyway. Stop by. Charlie goes, hey, you want it's drying up. You want to go on the roof for a quick one? Sure, why not?
Yeah.
So we were up. Yeah, it was just me and my wife and Charlie up there for one quick beer while there was this spot in the rain, standing up, just having a good time, enjoying the view, and yeah. It's beautiful up there. I mean, I know last year we were here for PBA League, and we were up there and hanging out. Had a nice conversation with Parker Bone and Justin Bone, and we were hanging on the rooftop, having a good time, enjoying the weather. So
Yeah,
I'd love to watch a movie up there sometime. That sounds.
Oh
like
yeah, the movie nights
those
are cool.
blast.
They're cool.
yeah, one of the best places to view the sunset too in the city.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Sure.
That is, yeah. My wife's gonna have to get some pictures of that before we leave.
Oh yeah.
All right, here we go. Game 4. Yeah, I switched pairs. Sorry, everybody. Game 4. We're back. Got a few faces we saw 1 through 4 last game. We got.
I think Hungus is going to be up here on 7 and 8, right?
I believe you're correct. Egg roll.
Egg roll, yeah.
One of our he's DJ Asia. He actually DJs here,
Okay.
Like-
and
Our
he does a
best DJ.
phenomenal job. He
Okay.
is impressive.
Yeah,
Like
he's
his
our
DJ
best
skills
DJ.
are unbelievable.
What is the 883 on the shirt there?
That's
for?
his Bopo number.
Oh,
So everyone has a number. I'm 917.
Okay.
You're 921. Is that right?
920.
920.
It's
yeah.
basically our number for the system. So you
Okay.
put your number in, and it populates the name in
Gotcha.
the system.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if it was because if you were at the, you needed bail quick, you only needed 3 digits to get out or
Right.
something. So,
Yeah, no.
because those are always some of the best stories when it goes.
Right.
Well, not the statute of limitations is gone.
Right.
right.
Ooh! Wow, he kept it on the lane and still missed a 6-pin. That's hard to do.
Yikes.
Come on, Natty Ice. All
Oh.
right, Natalie.
Natty Ice.
I just blew out somebody's. Sorry if I blow out your speakers at home on Facebook. Apologize.
Natty Ice has got double 9-spare
Yeah,
strike.
she's throwing it great.
Let's
she's using.
go.
I think she's using a. Is that a
That's
Widow hybrid?
It is a Widow
Yeah,
hybrid.
that looks
yeah.
amazing for her. By the
She,
way.
How often? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
She just got that drilled. Actually, she hasn't thrown 200 under 200 on the league shot with that.
I
Natty
believe it.
Ice is only like a 160, 170 average bowler.
Okay, so
And
she's
she's
trying
come
it
a
to try it?
long way. She shows up to all of our tournaments, and
Okay.
like to see her progression and just bowling on the hard
Shit, I
stuff
gotta-
and how much better it's made her is.
I got to buy her a
incredible.
beer just for having the balls to show up.
Yeah,
just try
absolutely.
to learn and get better.
Absolutely.
That deserves a natty. Well, I'm sure she does. Does she actually drink natty ice? Is that actually?
I don't know. It's a good
Ah.
question, but that'd be great if she did.
Yeah, I don't know
So-
if she even drinks alcohol. Maybe she does. I don't know.
Okay. Well, buy her a relaxer of her choice once.
Justin
There you go.
Urbano putting that shit on everything. This 3-bagger.
Yeah, he's bowling much better this re-entry than he did in the first squad.
Well, again, you use good bowlers use information they get from one squad and then make adjustments. I brought 11 balls with me today, so just in case. I mean, I should have just brought a bag of purple hammers, which I did. I really don't need anything else.
One of the funniest things.
Frankie's got like 6 of them.
I was doing some behind the scenes work for the PBA last week at the Players Championship. Not to drop my location on the floor and pick it up, but the last couple of weeks I was on the weekends. I was out there for the TV shows doing behind the scenes video and stuff. And on a TV set on Sunday before the finals started with Buttroff and McCune,
Yep.
McCune goes, "There's something wrong here, man. I got more purples out here than Buttroff does." Right?
That's awesome.
I'm like, "You're not wrong."
I'll tell you, I love his game, Kevin McCune. He throws it so good.
Yeah, I started watching him last year
Yeah.
in some of the qualifying, and it's just impressive. And I mean, yeah, he can fireball it, but man, he can roll it too.
He's
And,
still got some touch to it. It's not
Yeah.
just about speed. I mean, he's got the rev rate, he's got the touch. I mean, he can. I can see him making a really good career out of it before it's all said and done.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, one thing that everybody always just about, you get to Dad Eugene. Oh, the rifleman. Oh, fireball.
Oh, Natty Ice.
All this stuff about Eugene.
Yeah.
You ever watch Eugene get inside the 4th and 5th
Oh,
arrow
he-
and float it?
Oh yeah.
He's won some regionals.
He's
doing
so
that.
versatile.
And he's so.
Yeah.
And he always. I always. Whenever I was on the air doing PBA regional stuff or senior stuff when he was there, always just like, guys, he's not just a one-facet player, and his kid isn't either.
No.
The funniest part is too with Kevin. If he wouldn't have had an arm injury, he'd probably still be trying to play baseball. If not,
Yeah.
he would have been a senior in college this year with a COVID year.
Right. For sure.
Or but
So
he could have just been on a diamond instead of on the lanes. But then when that happened, and you ask him, we asked him in the press conference, "What's your memory of hanging in bowling alleys when you were a kid?" Yeah, I just hung out. Didn't really bowl with my dad and my grandpa a lot. That kind of
Right.
thing. And he goes, it wasn't for the arm injury, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. So am I upset it happened?
So-
Not today, I'm not.
Right.
Yeah.
I got $100K in my back pocket. Let's go.
It's cool to watch them bowl, though, because, like, Eugene, when he was throwing it hard, he looked like he was throwing it hard.
Yeah.
Kevin can throw it hard and not look like he's throwing it hard. It's impressive.
effortless.
Yeah.
For
it's
sure.
freaking
Yeah, it's
effortless.
great.
But it's no different than watching EJ.
Oh, EJ is
True.
so
Yeah.
good. I mean, he is in a zone that we have rarely seen in the sport, like right now. It is impressive to watch. I mean, he could throw a rock from the parking lot and strike with it. So,
Yeah,
So-
he's doing really well.
For those of you that were on the morning squad, now I got people to talk to, so you're going to hear the topic again. EJ Tackett still has a chance to beat Kyle Troop's money record.
I thought,
but
okay.
he has to win this weekend to do it.
Okay.
Because otherwise, there's not enough paychecks left. Even if he goes first in the PBA Tour Finals, first in the
Yep.
in the Lucy and all that, can't get there. So he has to win.
Yep.
But if you think about what Kyle did to get to $500,000 of it, Kyle Troop did 2/3 of that in 2 tournaments.
Right.
He did it. Players Championship
The
paid
Players.
$250,000
Yep.
in 2021.
Yep.
And the PBA playoffs paid $100,000.
But 100 grand, yeah.
So he still had a really good season outside
Right.
of that. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But he got that much. EJ's doing that with $150,000 less on one of the paychecks.
Right.
And he's still gotten to that point where he has a chance to break the money record.
I still think all the majors should pay $250.
I was just getting ready to text my wife, and all
Yeah,
of a
there
sudden
she
she's
is.
here.
She shows up. So speaking of texting and stuff, some of our bowlers are showing up. I'm actually going to have to bail out of the booth because
Yeah,
I'm going to
go
go help check in some of the bowlers. We got a lot of re-entry guys we got to figure
Yeah.
out.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I'm going to go downstairs, help the wife. So
What time do you think it's going to be? About 3 o'clock by the time we get started with the
I'd
next
say
squad?
probably about that. That
All right,
sounds about
so
right.
those of you watching, we'll go live again as quick as we can, but you might
Yep.
be watching some blank screens on YouTube with guys just talking and that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Should we have told the guys that all the microphones and the pairs are live so they're not like talking about
No, that's fine. We
fuck
like
no.
all that. We like all of it.
Yeah.
We like all the info.
We want some fries.
Yeah.
I'll hold that story till you get back.
All right.
Or actually, you're bowling next squad.
I'm bowling
so I
next
gotta tell them.
squad, so.
So we were in Pensacola, Florida. We were doing an extra frame event. These guys didn't think the microphones were live. They thought we were goofing around.
Yeah.
One guy started talking about how he was banging his girlfriend
Oh, no.
while his wife was watching at home.
Oh,
Yep.
Oh.
Comes to the booth. The mics are live. Yeah,
Yeah.
we told you guys in the paddock all the mics are live.
All the mics alive.
Shit. And he just turned around and walked away.
Well, okay.
There you go.
well,
There's a good story.
Yeah,
Not for
that
him, but
was
for everyone else.
All right, you'll see Frank.
All right, thank you guys, everyone. Thank you,
Best of
$2
luck.
Phil, for everything, and I'll
Absolutely,
catch up with you guys later.
Good luck next
all
round.
right, kill him, Frankie.
Hope to not see Frankie in the booth tomorrow morning early on.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
So actually,
Yeah, I'll be here with
I'd like
you
to see
anyway.
him. I'd like to see him at 10:30, but then he has to, see him up here at 10:30 because that
Yeah,
means
yeah.
you got to buy.
Absolutely.
So absolutely. So do we got a game? We should have a game 3 update here.
We probably do. I mean, we're halfway.
No, we don't yet.
We don't.
Don't yet.
Yeah.
I know there was one pair that was a little behind on the old side.
So Miss
So-
Brady probably needs
I
Frankie's
still
help
got-
anyhow.
yeah,
Yeah, because
I
1
got
and
2
2 looks like they're only a couple frames in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's quite a
Oh,
bit
here
of
we
work.
go. We got him. We got an update. Oh no, that's everybody though. Samard back on the squad.
Samard is bowling this
He's
squad,
now our
yeah.
leader.
Is he really?
Yeah, let's.
Well,
let's
El
bring him.
Nino had quite a rough game there.
Yeah, so let's bring him up on the old screen here.
Oh.
So we got Samard. Yep, hold on. Let me give you a little more here.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Samard, you're one.
7-15 for 3. That's
And splitting the house too with 260, 260. That's impressive.
so
if I remember
Evan's almost up in the top 4 there after that 188 first game.
Yeah, splitting the house 260, 240. So some of the guys are figuring it out when they go from side to side.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That means tomorrow is going to be pretty exciting if it continues this way.
And the cut actually moved back a little bit after. So, even though Frankie said 830, I don't know about 30 over doing it. I don't know right now. Right now it dropped. 10th place before was 70 over. Now it's back to 54.
Yeah, look at that.
So can we get some guys moving? It's so hard, like you said, side to side. They move from one side to the other. Are they making those adjustments within the first couple of frames? It bit you in the backside, moving to lane 1 on the first squad, and it's doing the same thing to a lot of these guys, it looks like, when they're moving from side to side.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like we got a spare and 5-bagger here come on I don't know whose that is, but Scotty
So
Tuhati.
They would have
just bowling in
started
front of him.
on 11 and 12. Let me see who we had here.
11 and 12, so that would be Meme Supreme.
You Meme Supreme for your B.
Oh, no, that's B, so this would be E.
Oh,
so,
E is
Justin Arbano.
Justin Arbano. Okay.
Yeah, so Justin.
And who's in second currently on the squad, so he's looking like a lock.
Yeah, and he was minus 80 first squad-ish, I think, to finish off. So
Yeah.
he definitely learned something and is taking that into this squad. Speaking of Phil Frames, he just shot a ball on lane 7 right there. No, we had mentioned that name earlier.
Yeah.
You said it was already taken here.
Yes, it was.
Phil is bowling in this tournament. Fun fact, Phil is he loves bowling balls, especially the international one.
Okay.
And Phil has probably the best collection of undrilled bowling balls that, at least around here, that I know of.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a sucker for all those.
So he gets all the emails from all the distributors and stuff like that. All of a sudden, hey, we got this international, and he just orders it.
Oh, absolutely.
That's his thing. Some people like Belmo have their kicks. He's got bowling balls. Phil Frames has got bowling balls.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, and here's the deal: like, we can only get what we can from our distributors through the shop.
Yeah.
And if somebody's looking for like an old piece or something really rare or whatever, man, Phil Frames is pretty good at finding them. Even. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I've seen some ones sometimes where all of a sudden, like, somebody's looking for an old ball, and all of a sudden you see, yeah, we got it on eBay or whatever, and they're trying to sell it for like $400 or $500, and they end up doing it. So.
Yeah. You know, that's one thing that I don't really understand, honestly, Phil. I can understand, like, favorite balls over the years and this and that, but I don't understand spending, like, that much on a bowling ball. The other thing I don't understand is we have, like, a tournament series around here that they don't allow unreleased, well, bowling balls that are unreleased to the public. They won't allow to be used in that tournament.
Yeah.
That I don't understand, because I don't like the new bowling balls. It's not like, I don't think it's going to give you anything that's going to be an advantage.
It's not going. Yeah, it's not like going from urethane to the Excalibur in 1991.
Right, exactly.
No, there's nothing. No, it's the same. Because then, if you think about it, with some of these tournaments out there too, like if there's tournaments like, okay, let's say just to use nationals as an example. So if the ball's not out in March when some guy bowls, but some guy goes in June, the ball's out, he can't use it? Well, no, because he just bought it from his pro shop. It's not his fault the tournament's 4 or 5 months long.
Right, exactly.
No, so yeah, the whole not available to the general public. Well, first of all, that's somebody that's bitter that they never got a staff contract.
Right. Yeah.
That's probably what it is. Yeah, it's probably what it is. But it's also probably a person that doesn't realize that a staff contract goes with a hell of a lot more than what happens when you throw in the lanes.
Oh,
I've seen guys lose their staff contracts for getting in a bar fight. I've seen guys, all that crap. That's just petty. And
the other side that I see of it, because like working in the shop, we have to drill them to sell them. But here's the deal,
Right.
like, you drill yourself an arsenal for the season, you use that arsenal over the season, you get to know it.
Yeah.
We're drilling a new ball every, week or two.
Yeah.
So we're always using something new.
Right.
So we never actually get to know these people. Well, we get to know them, but it's not like, oh, hey, my old favorite, you know what I mean? Because if we have one ball that stays in our bag all year, that's the same ball, then that's, pretty impressive. For me, that ball this year would be like the sensor, track sensor.
Okay.
Love it.
Yeah.
Very versatile ball. But like most of the other ones, we use them for a little bit, and so that way we can sell them. And
well, that's exactly
it.
If you don't have the knowledge of what the ball does for you and what the knowledge, because obviously you and Frankie, fully different styles.
Oh, absolutely.
Fully different sides, and it's just you got to know what things do. And apparently somebody dropped $1 there. I can't believe the kid didn't pick it up. Is that his dollar on the floor over there?
Oh, maybe it is. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, did you drop $1?
Is that your dollar?
Is that your dollar over there?
He's not paying attention.
Whatever.
To us,
No, that goes to somebody later on.
Yeah.
Go to the Frankie and Ding Dong.
Maybe he left
fund.
a 5-pin.
Could be.
So he had to pay his $1.
Could be. He had just threw it on the floor and said, screw it.
Yeah, so what we used to do is we'd pay all these dollars, and then at the end of the year, we'd take all those dollars, and we'd use them for the next year's shirts.
Oh,
and then
beautiful.
whatever was left over, we'd use it for the team barbecue over the summer.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was pretty sweet.
Yeah, we used to do that with the league I bowled in. The same league the guy shot 900 I was talking about before. My team, we used to do it all our fines and stuff like that would just get saved up, and we'd spend it. We'd use it for nationals, our nationals expenses.
Oh, awesome! Yeah.
That kind of thing. But it can get kind of pricey because it was 5-person teams. So if you got hung once, it was $1. You got hung a second time, it was $2. You got hung after that every time, it was $3.
Yeah.
And so if you got hung 5 or 6 times in a night, which happened on occasion, it could get a little pricey on a guy.
Yeah.
Speaking of hanging, so do you guys do anything like if everybody strikes in a frame here and somebody does it, that they got like a round of
Beer
beverages?
frame? Yeah,
Beer frame. Just beer frame. Okay.
Yeah.
So I bowled it once again, one of the little 8-lane centers of Milwaukee kind of thing. We're bowling a tournament, 5-man tournament, and we decided before we get started that, if you get hung, it's going to be a round of shots. Thinking it's all pretty good bowlers on the team. It might happen once, it might happen twice. All right, everybody agrees to it, fine. One of the guys on our team ran a pro shop. Russ Kowalski ran a pro shop in Milwaukee. First game, he gets hung twice. Second game, we hung him 3 times in the first 4 frames.
Ooh.
By the time we got done, we hung him 11 times. Glad I had a ride home that night.
So, you
bowling
also
center-
had people
Right.
showing you, this is your lane, Phil.
Right. Oh, no. That wasn't the problem. We were seasoned professionals. We ended up finishing second.
Oh,
Even with Russ bowling bad, we still finished second in that tournament. And the owner of the bowling center actually cashed a check for big sign, no checks and stuff like that. He
Yep.
actually cashed a check for Russ so he could pay his bar bill.
Oh,
so
wow.
we finished second. Russ was our captain. So the bowling center owner, Dave, meets Russ at his pro shop and he gives him the checks and he goes, "Here's your bar rebate."
That's awesome.
Wasn't even your prize money. It's here's your bar rebate.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, being from Milwaukee, there's some quality drinking and winning money and bowling, scratch tournaments and that kind of thing. Stories that
Yeah, scratch
over the years.
Scratch bowling here. So a number of years back, so I took a bunch of time off from bowling, but a number of years back, somebody told Frankie that scratch bowling in Maine was finished. It was all done.
Okay.
And so Frankie started what was called the MIST tournament, Maine Invitational Scratch Tournament.
Yeah.
And so he started like maybe the first couple events were on the China on a house shot, and I think somebody told him that no one would want to show up for sport shots, this and that. So then he switched to sport shots, and now obviously we've taken that off the rails. But it just goes to show you that when somebody tells you that you can't do something, you can make it happen. And
right.
Here in Maine, like I'm sure there's sport tournaments like around, but like here we're able to throw out some of the hardest patterns. Like you've seen
some
the
of that
patterns.
stuff. Some of that stuff you guys designed for that Brunswick machine is absolutely freaking diabolical. I mean, it's just insane.
And we'll have these players signing up. We'll fill a tournament in like 2 hours, to bowl in some of these events. Now, some of our different rules are draw to it as well. Like with the 1-ball brawl, and people really like our Scotch doubles event. So that sells out every year. We tried to do that in conjunction with Valentine's Day. So it doesn't have to be a mixed couple, but it's kind of like been like our Valentine's Day tradition of the Scotch doubles tournament. We have the dual pattern event, which is always ugly. We talked earlier about how we did the FDDS flat 50 on one lane, the FDDS flat 30 on the other lane. This year we did through thick and thin as our double pattern event, and it was 40 feet on both lanes. But on one lane you had like 30 mils, and on the other lane it was only like 15 mils.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Completely flat.
Right.
So I think those ones ended up being 1.1 to 1. So they were a little softer, but it was cool. We for the Scotch on the Rocks event, we developed a pattern that was absolutely just disgusting. It was supposed to be 2 shot glasses sitting side by side is what the pattern was supposed to look like, with oil in between them and on the outside of them. And then in shot glasses you have fire water, right? Hot liquid. So in those shot glasses, the lanes were supposed to look like they were on fire, essentially in the track area on both sides. And it ended up coming out looking like the Whataburger logo is what the graph.
I love me some Whataburger.
Yeah, so that's what the graph ended up looking like, and we went with it. We ended up renaming it to What a Pattern, And so that one is our record so far. Now, it was a Scotch doubles tournament, and so our Scotch doubles, we do 6-game qualifying rather than 4-game because it goes quick. Scotch doubles games go quick.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And our cut to make the cut
4
was
games.
For 6 games.
6 games.
Because it was Scotch doubles.
Scotch doubles, okay.
Was negative 282.
Oh, jeez. Talk about 9 in the spare is a really good frame.
A very good frame.
It's a phenomenal frame.
Yeah, so that one so far has been our lowest scoring pattern. Some would say that it was our toughest pattern. I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
I was able to move way in, and I kind of just I don't know, it just looked all right. So it was fun, but it's just cool that we have people here that embrace the tough stuff and don't mind bowling on something that's challenging. And it's cool because I think our bowlers get to be better players quicker because of that.
Yeah. So, Bajorski had the big game last game on 15 and 16.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get over to 1 and 2 here in a second because we got a guy that's got open in the front 6, but I didn't get the name from Frankie in that one. I forgot who he said it was.
Yes.
We'll see him coming up in a minute here. He's bowler F.
Who did he say it was?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Bowler F. We'll see him when he comes up. But yeah, that's the big game rolling right now. So we'll stick on that.
Yeah, for sure.
And let me just take a look over on. It's nothing special on any of the rest of the pairs on the old side. Let me take a look here on. Yeah, nothing big. One possible big game going.
Yeah, so it's funny. We talked about drilling balls and how that makes a difference, and some people thinking that a new ball might be an advantage.
Yeah.
We bowled this tournament here, and it was basically match play one of the days, and then the next day was the finals, and we bowled match play and whatever. And I told Frankie, I'm like, we make it into the finals tomorrow, I'm gonna drill this ball, right?
Yeah.
So we make it into the finals. I drill the ball. I stay up late that night to drill the ball. Use it the next day in the finals. We won the tournament, and then I ended up leaving it on the rack.
Oh, jeez. So Samard, we'll get over to Samard in a second because he'll be stepping up momentarily. His 10th frame. Samard's got an open 5-bagger spare double going into the 10th.
Oh, wow.
So you talk about a guy having a hell of a round on the re-entry. That's going to be solid in for Samard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And actually, let's get over there because we'll have a few frames before they get back here.
Yeah, for sure.
So Samard, your bowler F. You'll see him coming up on lane 14 shortly. Ian Fitzpatrick having a nice game, too. I don't know where he's at in the standings. I'll have to look, but Fitzpatrick having a good game to finish as well. Fitzpatrick can go 257.
Yeah, he's a pretty good player.
Yeah. So, yeah, good thing we got the re-entry. Frankie's got the re-entry already in because, yeah, cut scores, cut line, yeah, definitely going to go up. It might go up, it might be a plus 50.
Yeah, these guys are figuring it out, the few that are. And, I mean, you got to figure with a field this big, we're only taking 30-ish people probably.
Right.
31, I think, after the first block was going to be the number we could get to.
Yeah.
I think we had a couple openings here, so we're probably looking at maybe 30 people making.
So that's going to make first and second really huge because they're going to get an extra buy into the round of 8.
Yeah.
That's absolutely huge.
Absolutely huge. So, and looks like Nate Clark here on 14, he was just pretty happy about that last strike, so I wonder how close he is.
Pretty happy on that one, too.
Yeah. Because, he's so for myself, I don't watch scores. I don't give two shits, honestly, what the rest of the field is doing. I know what I'm doing, and if, I kind of focus on that. And if I can get to a number that I feel safe with, then, I'm good with that. But I wonder if Nate is watching the numbers and knows how close he is and how important that these strikes at the end of the game.
So
are.
So Clark is what the hell is his nickname? Griswold.
Griswold, yeah.
So he's at plus 71 coming in. So
wow.
he's safe in.
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick is 51 over. So even with going spare strike in the 10th for 230, yeah, Fitzpatrick's going to be almost 100 over. So yeah, there's several players on this pair. Simard too. Yeah, Simard's leading at 115 over, and he can actually get himself, well into the 1 spot.
Yeah, and so that's showing the versatility on both sides of the building.
Yep, because it was 167 over for Martell. So yeah, he's definitely going to get himself. He has a chance to get past Martell here, but he's going to need them all to do it. And not rooting against the previous champ or anything like that, but hey, it'd be fun watching somebody else have one less step to get to win the title.
Absolutely. We love seeing new winners here.
Right. But Martell's still in really good shape to hold on. If only 30 go to tomorrow, yeah.
Plus you got all day tomorrow, too. So
right.
Tomorrow will be a new day, and, who knows? Who knows which players will be feeling good tomorrow?
Yep. And obviously fresh application in the morning. That's the thing, though, man. If you get a bye of that round of 8 and you're just coming back to the high side, you're gonna have to, you're gonna be sleeping thinking, I'm gonna need to shoot some numbers when I get back. If you have your first match on the low side, it's like, okay, I can grind it out, I can get away with a shot or two, that kind of thing. But you're right into the round of 8. It's a single game, man.
Yeah.
Round of 8, single game tomorrow. Everything before the round of 8's best of 3. So if those buys happen to get right into the round of 8, and then you're going single game, you got to show up on the high side, and you're going to have to shoot a telephone number, an area code.
Right.
First game out. That might not be to your advantage. Yeah, it's nice that you got the guaranteed check for making the final 8 guys, but it ain't a title. Ain't a guarantee of the title, no doubt about that.
No, I absolutely agree. And honestly, a lot of our local stuff is usually just you bowl the four games qualifying, and then we have 2 different ways that we do it. We either we'll take in the group and we'll have an eliminator and have the 5th game added to the 4 games and have, cut the field in half from there.
Okay.
Sometimes what we'll do is we'll do it as the 5-game total. Sometimes we'll take your average of the 4 games and add the 5th game for a 2-game total and then cut the field in half. Or the other way that we'll do it is we'll just go straight to match play. And when we go straight to match play, it's 1-day matches.
Yeah.
And, like you said, you get one of those, blower 7-10s or just, a bad break. It really puts you at a hurt, especially in 1-game format for sure.
So there's Samara first ball on the 10th. Yeah,
Ooh,
he's looking at top 2. Want to get back over to 1 and 2 as soon as we get that caught up because
he struck again. I'm not sure who it is though. I can't remember the name. It's not a guy that I recognize. My vision isn't the best though either. Phil,
well, same. I got the cheaters out sitting on the side. So
yeah. I usually say I have the glaucoma. That's why I do the gardening.
That and IBS. That and IBS.
Right.
Comedians are notorious for being sufferers of IBS. I remember that line from somebody. All
right, so David.
It was Griswold, wasn't it? Down there on lane 1?
No, Griswold was.
Griswold's on the other on this pair that we're on.
Griswold
right now.
Shot 248 that
so
game.
So he's sitting really nice.
So David did end up getting the second one in the 10th there.
Yep. All right, so we know he's in. Let's get back to 1 and 2.
There's somebody with the front 5 over there too on.
We'll get
15 and 16.
Well, now by the time we get back, it'll be.
Oh well.
We'll just full blown Frankie on there right there. Let me see who we got for.
Yeah, was that Thunder I heard, Phil?
I don't know. Was it
a flash of lightning?
Flash
maybe?
of lightning.
Yeah. Yeah, so the other thing I'd like to say is, we do get a really great amount of local bowlers, these BOPOers that support our tournaments.
Oh, it's El Nino. It's El Nino.
Oh,
with
is
the
it El
front
Nino?
5.
Nice.
So hold on. We'll get back to El
Yeah,
Nino
yeah,
here
yeah.
after he tosses his ball at 10. So yeah, here we go. So we got El Nino popping in.
Oh, baby. Let's go. I got to tell you, him and his family, great, amazing people.
Oh, we just full blown did it to him again,
Yeah,
man.
we did.
You
And
should have
that-
waited till at least like the 9th frame.
That was like the weakest,
was.
ugliest weak 10-pin you've ever seen in your life. Absolutely puked and looks like crap.
I think that we call that El Garbage.
El Gabarjo.
El
yeah.
Garbajo.
I like it.
I'm assuming my Spanish is terrible. So
Same.
yeah,
Taco, is that Spanish? Burrito?
taco and burrito are Spanish.
Okay,
Mexican,
yeah. There you go. That's a
Uh,
chalupa.
Sopapilla, quality dessert. Churros. Oh,
There you go.
Oh, churros,
Yeah, yeah.
the best dessert. My wife found them on the way here. These old El Paso, like cinnamon churro, little new, small thing. Oh, they were so good. We ate them in the
Yeah.
car. We just plowed through them in the car.
There you go.
We'll just have one. What did it take, honey? About 5 minutes to get through that bag? No,
Some flan, maybe?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Some flan afterwards would have been good.
Yeah.
Some quality flan.
Oh, shit.
All right, so those of you tuning in for the 2:30 squad, obviously, it's going to be closer to 3 by the time it's done. I'm not going back into YouTube and changing all those start times
Yeah, yeah. Well,
because then I'll blow it up.
our mad scientist, Greg, the head mechanic here, he's going to have to redress the lanes and everything
Yeah.
for the next squad.
So I would probably say last time it took about 40 minutes to turn around, and we got guys still in the 8th frame on the other. Well, you can at least start on the high side right away. So we're almost done on the low side. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So
well,
1 and 2, yeah, what we
1
got
and
here.
2 was slow, but 15 and 16, I think, was
Yeah,
slow,
they're
too.
only in the 7th frame, but he can at least get this side done. So let's say let's join back here about 3:05, 3:10 for announcements, I'd say, and that way everybody's got a chance to grab a late lunch. I know I'm going to do that. My wife was kind enough to put in a food order for me.
Yeah.
Jamaican Jerk making an appearance. He knew we were talking about him before.
Yeah,
that's
he
why,
did.
That's why he came up.
Yeah. Well,
So-
Frankie was wearing the donut hat, so yeah. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone enjoys Jamaican Jerks donuts, that's for sure.
That's
The
absolutely.
healthiest donut, only 1 carb. Love that.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
yeah.
Appreciate you guys doing this all.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I made breakfast.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, I appreciate that.
yeah.
It's
Thank
always
you.
good coming
Thank
out
you.
here.
Yeah, we love you. We love you so
Oh, yeah.
much. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going to go back and work. I gave it a run. Last game I fell apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it happens. Give it a try, man.
Gave it a run.
That's all you can
Hey.
do.
It's the best I've
You shoot up.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, yeah.
other than like one.
Yeah. Hey.
Okay.
All right. Well, go make some beautiful art, my man, and
Right.
you'll be able to watch the
I
next
follow you
round
on the
and-
gram. I watch all the stuff come on the gram. So, yeah.
Yeah.
If I wasn't more of an edible guy, I'd probably have some. I said I don't want to Tommy Chong you and order it like in Wisconsin and have it get shipped and then you get Tommy Chonged. I'd hate for that to happen. I'd be in that like one zip code. It would be illegal or something. So.
Right.
He knows his history.
I know my
Yeah.
Tommy. Oh, yeah. I know
Yeah.
my history with that stuff.
Yeah.
No doubt. Thanks.
Yeah,
Take it
thanks,
easy,
Jerk.
man. Jamaican
Yeah.
Jerk making an appearance up here. Good to see him again. So,
Yeah.
quality art. Yeah, if you're a fan of glasswork of any type,
Check
KGB glass, yeah.
Yeah, check out KGB. His woman, too, Sarah Marlsby. Marlsby Glass, I do believe, is what hers is under.
Yeah.
She makes some incredible artwork, too. She made me this little, like, 4-leaf clover. And her
Okay.
deal is the 4-hole bowls. So
Ah.
they're glass bowls, but they
Okay.
have 4 holes
Really?
in there. Yeah,
Okay.
so that. And she makes some absolutely beautiful
Nice.
pieces. They've been doing a lot of like donut pendants and stuff lately too, which are non-usable. They're just wearables.
Yeah.
But people are
They
loving
look pretty,
that
but I was
stuff,
going to say,
yeah.
when you can wear your art, I mean, I don't have, like you have tattoos. I don't have tattoos. I don't or anything. But when you get to wear your art, man, that you like,
It's amazing,
It's pretty
yeah.
awesome. So
Yeah, Sarah
Yeah.
makes these like cribbage pegs, and she
Okay.
even makes like those plant watering bulbs for your house
Really?
plants and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. They really make some really great stuff over there. I
So-
got to tell you, we have a couple other glass artists here who bowl here at Bopo, and they're some of the art.
I don't know. We're waiting
just
on
amazing.
something here. On
maybe a ball
15,
return.
16. I don't know. Greg's over here, though, trying to get the machine going. So,
Have they?
okay. All right, looks
All
like
right.
we're back underway here. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so they're already going to start getting the low side oiled. So it shouldn't be too long of a turnaround. I'd say, 15 minutes. Yeah, I'd say by 3:05, 3:10.
That sounds about right. So there's a perfect example. Caspa right there, bowling on 15.
Oh.
She looks like she's in some pain there.
Yeah, let's.
But she is one of the lower average bowlers here in Bopo who come out and support all of our tournaments. And I got to tell you, bowling on that tough stuff, and you've seen her game improve even throughout the season. But man, I don't know what just happened. I don't know if something happened.
It's something lower body. It looked like, whether it's a knee or an ankle or something.
Huh.
So yeah, sometimes you just gotta shut it down. And yeah, I know there's only 3 frames left, but nobody's gonna. It ain't worth permanent damage.
Oh, no, not
at all.
Yeah, not at all. You want to be able to come out and bowl the next event for sure.
Right.
Or, even if you have to take an event or two off to rest, you want to be able to not end your career on just this one event.
Yeah, go out on your own terms, not on an injury term. So.
Oh, yeah.
Is it her arm? She's holding her hand up, like.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Maybe his shoulder, but it looked like
El
the way she
Nino's
was
over
walking
there
back.
assisting there.
Yeah.
So you got Nurse El Nino, I guess, helping her out. Maybe the moral support is what she needs more than anything at this point.
Just trying to stretch a little bit, but yeah, sometimes you want to finish, but you just gotta kind of shut her down. So. Which we're going to do right now, because if I got to turn these streams around really quick, I got to start shutting down some of the ones we had out there and on the pairs that they're oiling and stuff. So, everybody, thanks for joining us. Like I said, a little after 3 o'clock, we'll be back on YouTube and Facebook. Just if you're on Facebook, if you haven't liked the Frankie and Ding Dong Show already, what the hell are you waiting for?
Right.
Like the page, so that way you get the notifications that we've gone back live. Same thing on YouTube. If you subscribe to there, we go live on YouTube. You get that notification as well, too. So, give us a little over a half hour. We'll be back. Refresh your beverage. Grab something to eat. I'm going to have some Bopo chicken fingers shortly. And Dingy Dong and I will be back.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Enjoy the day, guys. start the streams for the next squad.